Well, hey, look at that. We are off to a good start this morning. Good morning, everyone. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Back live with you, barely. Paulie is still out sick, man. I talked to him yesterday. He sounds like he doesn't sound good. He's like, hello. And he's all stuffy and he can't talk. And I said, dude, please don't come in here. Please don't come in here if you don't feel good, right? Like, this is it's a great time to be sick. If you are sick, now's a great time to do it. We'll talk more about Paulie. We got Adam Klug live in studio. He refuses to be on camera. I think he's transitioning from bald Reindl back into Adam Klug. And I think the transition between bald and fully grown hair is embarrassing for him. So he doesn't want to be on camera today, which I get. You're in the tweener phase.
Hi, guys.
Hi. Oh, there he is. Hi, Adam. And now you're in my spot. And you look like you're at Guantanamo with a camera pleading for someone to come rescue you. It's very strange.
It's just one of those things. The morning got off to a great start. Mics weren't turned up. It's all good.
I'm thrown. There it is. Okay, now it feels okay. Now I feel like we're locked in. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Benjamin, how are you, buddy?
Good morning. It's good to have you back.
It's good to be back. How did Friday go?
Adam, good to see you again. Yeah, I somehow we made it through 4 hours on Friday where Adam didn't take a ton of shrapnel. He's already got it, though, 3 minutes into this program. What's the difference?
I don't know. I have no idea.
And Monday,
I have no
with
idea.
The amount of shrapnel that Adam takes during the show.
Now I've been knocked out of the YouTube completely. I'm just no longer, I don't exist. Now all you do is you hear a voice in the background. Adam, I'm not up. I don't know what the deal is.
You're back.
Oh, am I back? Okay. Hey, I wanted to start the show. I got the nicest DM this morning. I woke up to it. Says this. Hey, Woodsy, longtime listener, first time reaching out. My name is Nerlin. I love your guys' show. I love what all three of you guys bring. My favorite part is Foreplay. Various reasons. Long story short, I get to drop off my son a few days out of the week, and the new daily open you guys use, the ceremony is about to begin. Wake up is my son's favorite part. We say it each day I get to drop him off. Tomorrow's his 11th birthday, and I also have to deploy for 6 months tomorrow in the Navy. He's been a little bummed out the last few weeks that I had to leave. If you could give him a shout out tomorrow, that'd be awesome. His name is Noah. And like your boys, he loves the Padres, secretly making me into a Padres fan. I'm a Yankees fan. I'm like, well, this is all ringing true for me, Nerlin. Anyway, thanks. And keep sharing your boys and your family. Anyone doesn't like it, they can switch up the channel. Thanks, man. I'll keep listening on deployment. Keep me attached to home. Really touching message. Happy birthday, Noah. And I'm sorry that your dad has to deploy, man. I really am. I think about when I have to leave for like a week, what a wreck my kids are when I have to leave for a week. Benny, same deal. I mean,
by have to, you mean go to fantasy camp in Arizona.
That's work. That's a work trip. It's not, look, is it as important as deploying for the Navy? Some may say yes, some may say no.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah, it is for work.
That's up for debate. Okay. That being said, I know how bummed they are when I leave for a week. I can't imagine leaving my kids for 6 months, man. So shout out to both you guys.
Yeah,
but
Noah,
happy
birthday, Nerlin. Thank you for your service.
So
good luck on
sweet,
deployment. It's amazing the sacrifices
100%
that our men and women of the military do make when it comes to their families. Because I know my wife, like, if I had to leave for 6 months, like, it's not, I mean, it would be awful. It would be horrific, man. And it's the spouses too, that just, they have to step up in your absence. And it's just really tough, man. It breaks my heart. So I love that you guys listen. I love that we can give you something on, a moment in the morning. That's the stuff that makes me so happy that we get to do this. I was just talking to my dad about it driving in, about the Ben and Woods Tier 1 community and how they look out for each other and how they take care of each other. And, it's a special thing to be a part of. And I did miss you guys Friday. I was obviously happy to have the day with my family. It was a travel day. We headed to Las Vegas. We had a very ambitious trip planned. And I know everybody's been wanting to hear about how that went. I'll say this. Let me start here, you guys. I've been on some gnarly Vegas trips, and I mean gnarly. I've landed on a Friday and didn't fall asleep till Tuesday. I have gone so balls to the wall in Las Vegas before, because really that's the place that you do it. Not my finest moments. In my younger days, when I didn't really care, I didn't really have anything to lose, I went nuts in Las Vegas. Nuts. This trip was harder on me. This trip was harder on me and cost me more money than those trips. Think about this, if you will. You go out with the guys to Vegas. I've been on a couple bachelor parties. Insane, right? So you go out and you gamble. Well, maybe you win a little money gambling. Then you go out to the nightclubs and you drink. Well, if you're gambling, you're drinking on the house, doesn't cost you a nickel. Maybe you won money. You walk out of there $500 richer. You're up. You go out, you spend that money at the nightclub, you're back to even. Okay. The next day, you don't leave your hotel room. You lay in bed and you shiver and you watch TV. You barely eat. You don't do anything. You don't have to get up and walk around. You get up, you refuel, and you go out for the night. And it's the same thing. These dudes were up. You know, we did the drive in. We left at about 5 a.m. on Friday. And we made it no problem. None. Got to the hotel, parked, walked around a little bit. We went to Meow Wolf, which is people told us, you got to go check out Meow Wolf. It's an art installation. It's one of the coolest things you've ever seen. You can't get your head around it when you walk in.
No, you can't. It's really
you can't.
Out there.
It's super duper out there. My kids loved it. They loved it. And so we were, it was a long day, man, getting on the road, knowing we got the Eagles at the Sphere that night. So then we, have some dinner, whatever. We go to the concert, and Hannah's so excited. It's her favorite band. And I'm thrilled. I love the Eagles too. And so we get out there, Benny, we get into the Sphere, and I got to tell you, I was a touch bummed at myself. I kind of screwed up. I bought the tickets online, and it said limited view. And I go, let me look. So you can actually go online, type in where your tickets are, and they'll show you this is view. And I go, well, that looks fine. I showed Hannah. I go, how's that? She's like, no, it looks fine to me. A little different when you sit down and half the screen is covered up by the overhang.
Yeah. You can see the stage.
Yeah.
But
you got
see
the
entire sphere above you. That's what I was thinking.
But you get about half of the screen, which is fine. I got a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. The price difference would have been, enormous. So Hannah didn't complain about it. She was stoked to be there, and the kids were into it. And listen to this set list. Are you ready for this? Hotel California, one of these nights, Lion Eyes, Take It to the Limit, Witchy Woman, Peaceful Easy Feeling, Tequila Sunrise, In the City, New Kid in Town, Seven Bridges Road, Best of My Love, Life's Been Good, Already Gone, The Boys of Summer, Life in the Fast Lane, Take It Easy, Rocky Mountain Way, Desperado, Heartache Tonight. It's just like bam, 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 each one. So they came out. They sound great. Now they're old as S. They are old. They're old guys. They're in their 70s. They've been doing this 52 years together. Glenn Fry's son, Deacon, comes out, and he's in the band, and he's playing. When he started to sing his dad's songs, I was done, dude. Eyes filled up with tears. Listening to him sing Peaceful, Easy Feeling gave me the chills. I sent you guys video of Boys of Summer. How great did that sound?
That was awesome.
Henley still got it.
Yeah.
But he's a malcontent of epic proportions. He walks up to the mic. This is how he did his intros. He goes, hi. The humidity in here is like 15%. Anyway, he didn't want to exert his
related
voice.
To him.
I gave him a huge malcontent. My wife said, you remind me of a Don Henley, Glenn Fry combo. Just two huge a-holes. So he intros the band, whatever. So I'm looking at the set list, and I'm antsy. The kids are antsy. Taylor's antsy. I look at Hannah, I go, all right, what's the plan? We can't stay till the very, very end because the traffic out of here, it was murder getting in. She goes, let's leave after Desperado. I said, deal. All we missed was Heartache Tonight, which, okay, fine. So we get in a cab. Cab driver's taking us home. I look off to my left, and I go, what is that? And it was 2 police motorcycles, SUV, 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 2 police motorcycles.
Okay, motorcade.
So I said to Hannah, I go, that's the friggin' Eagles. They're next to us in their SUVs. They finished up Heartache Tonight, put their instruments down. They jumped in their SUVs. They're out. We asked our cab driver, where this place, where they heading? He goes, oh, Four Seasons. For sure. They're getting a police escort to the Four Seasons. Pull up to the light. Hannah rolls the taxi window down. She sticks her face out and starts waving at the SUV. All of a sudden,
You see this face get up right next to the glass. It's Timothy B. Schmidt, her favorite Eagle, by the way, the bass player, waving, hi, thank you, thank you. She's screaming in the car. It was the coolest moment of all time. He was so nice, so kind. So we did that show. Next day, wake up. I'll tell you, man, like, my kids are amazing. We had so much fun with them, but they're in that mode. Adam, you know this. You got 3. You had two boys, Benny. They're in the let's beat the S out of each other at every stage we can.
Oh, yeah.
If we're standing waiting for something, I'm going to hit you in the ear as hard as I can. Just a wham. Bo goes flying. Then Bo comes back and knocks Taylor out. And I'm like, what is happening? Hannah flips. Then I flip. I go nuts. And so it was that constant, just them. It was like a boxing match all weekend. Taylor's licking handrails everywhere we go. You just know that the norovirus is on its way any day. So then we went to Kiss Mini Golf, which was a blast. We had so much fun there. And then we went to meet Deftones. Now, Deftones was rad, but we had to wait like an hour and a half in line for the meet and greet. The guys could not have been cooler to the boys. They could not have been. Got pictures with just them. It was really sweet. And then Hannah and Taylor passed out for the Deftones show. So it was just me and Bo.
Long weekend.
And we stayed 18 songs, Bo and I solo, and then we skipped the encore because it was really loud and people were very, very intoxicated. It gets a little dicey. And so we split, but we had a really good time. And I got to be honest, the drive is what I was most nervous about. In and out both times.
So how
no traffic.
early did you leave yesterday to beat the Sunday rush out of town?
So I was a little nervous, but we didn't get home till like 11:30. So we crashed pretty hard. And then you wake up and it's an hour ahead, and you're like, "Come on, dude!" And so we left at about 7:30, 8, and made it no problem. I mean, we made it. We were home.
Still going to beat most people after a Saturday night in Las Vegas.
We were home by 1.
As long as you're out of there by 8 or 9, it's 10, 11 checkout time. Then the road to San Diego, Los Angeles
it started
bumper to bumper from Vegas to
Bakersfield or Baker. Yeah.
Baker, yeah.
Yeah, it was, we did the first van trip. We did it. We got it out of our system. We now know we can do it. The boys were spectacular in the van. But it was great, man. It was a fun trip. I spent a fortune. And, in Vegas, you're like, oh, I lost $3,000 playing craps. I didn't gamble one time. I didn't have one sip of alcohol. I've never been to Vegas sober in my life. It was a completely different experience.
That's the biggest difference, I think, between Vegas of now and Vegas of when, we first were going 20, 30 years ago. Used to be really only the gambling was where they made their money.
Yeah.
Like they just tried to get you to the tables. Everything else was comp, discounted. There was no like parking charges. Now there's parking charges at every casino garage, and nothing is discounted anymore.
You know what?
It's just as expensive as everywhere else. Plus, you've got the gambling aspect of it as well.
You know what's super weird, you guys, is I'll say this, like there's parts of Vegas that are thriving. We went to the Kiss World, which is in the Rio, and we went to the Rio, bro. It was like walking into a ghost town. They have ripped out businesses, bars. There's no bars like on the ground. There were 14 people in the Rio casino when we walked in. I was like, "What is that?" It was noon. I go, "What has happened to the Vegas that I knew?" The other thing, dude, this would have killed both Adam and Ben. This would have killed both of you. Finished the meet and greet. Kids are hungry. We had a reservation at a really nice restaurant. I go, we're not making another 2 hours. Hannah goes, let's go to Johnny Rockets. Oh, sorry, in case they're like listening. Ronnie Jockets is a restaurant that we found in the casino. It's similar. Ronnie Jockets. I go up. I order 4 burgers, 4 fries, 4 Cokes, 2 milkshakes.
Could you take a guess?
Take your guess.
Ooh,
for Ronnie Jockets.
Burgers, fries, Cokes, milkshakes. Okay.
$100.
$135 before tip. And normally I'm just like, yeah, whatever, take it. I looked at her, I was like, are you sure? And she's like, no, yes, sir. $24.99 for a burger, fries, and a Coke. $25 each plus tax.
This isn't a Wagyu beef half pound bacon truffle burger.
Ben,
either,
this was the
like
most
Vegas.
simple burger of all time. I looked at Ann, I go, because I get the tip thing, and I did 18% because
That's low for Woods.
it's low for me. It was $150 by the time it was all said and done at Ronnie Jockett's. And I ate it. By the time we got to our room, I was like, like I was like, something's not sitting right with me, bro.
You were the captive audience.
It was. I'm like, who do you guys think you are? I looked at Hannah. I go, we could have gone to the steakhouse, like easily gone to the steakhouse for what we just spent at Ronnie Jockett's. So, never again. Like you lost me. You lost me forever, Ronnie. But it was the town is it's different, Benny. It's just different. It felt like for the first, well, I was sober. So like it felt for the first time for me, like this isn't for me anymore. I think I've got Vegas out of my system a little bit more. And all you need really to get things out of your system is to take your children with you. And then you won't. But
or a little Ronnie Jockett's.
You're like, you know what? I can't swing this anymore. But it was a good time. The drive was really, really simple, and the shows were magical, man. The Sphere, if you can get to the
You'll
Sphere,
have the memories, which is
Yeah,
what you're really
100%.
going for.
What
so.
did you say about the drive?
the drive was simple.
Oh,
It really was.
that's interesting.
It was.
Yeah.
It
Really
was like,
interesting.
because I think I said before, only idiots drive big.
You did.
And let me tell you something else. It was actually a really pretty drive.
is.
It's
It's not
pretty.
bad.
Like
Yeah.
it was a nice drive. I stand corrected. But yeah, man, it was great to be back this morning. Time change is killing me.
Be kind,
but we're all
everybody,
right.
this morning. It is very early feeling with the darkness, and be careful on the roadways as people are a little extra tired this morning. Take care of each other. We're going to get started here. It's good to have you back, Woods. Hopefully
be
Paul
back.
will feel better soon, and we get him back tomorrow or later this week. But we've got plenty to get to. We'll set the menu for the program. Lots of Padres. Some huge NFL news. SDFC, what a win over the weekend. Aztecs, big win as well. Talk about all of it coming up on Ben and Woods. Get our first check of traffic here with Kelly Danick coming up. First, though, I'll tell you about Prize Picks. I was playing Prize Picks over the weekend. It's daily fantasy sports with over 10 million users and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. I was so close to a win. I needed one more point from Derek White in the NBA game between LA and Boston on Saturday for a big win. Didn't get it, but that happens sometimes. I will be right back at it with more Prize Picks this week. All you have to do is go to their website, download the app. It's very quick and very easy. When you sign up, use the code KWFN. You're going to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup with the code KWFN. Basketball season, obviously, pro heating up, but this is March, and it is tournament time, and you've got Prize Picks opportunities all week long, all month long. Check it out today at Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. Good sports weekend. Yeah,
It really was.
Even locally, a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of excitement.
I kept up with the SDFC game on Saturday because we had time to kill before the show. So I watched the first half. I saw them score, and I got a little bit panicked about that.
First goal they've ever allowed in franchise history.
Yeah.
How do you do from behind? Not bad.
How do you do from behind?
I actually went and watched the game at the Seagull with the crowd, which was fun. When the goal tied it up, the excitement, everyone cheering. It's the nice thing about soccer. Goals are rare, but when they happen,
they're super cool,
super special, and super cool.
And let me tell you, equally devastating when it happens against you.
It's what a stomach punch.
If the Padres go out and take on the Marlins and the Marlins score one in the first, you're not like, that's it, we're done, we're packing it in. In soccer,
like
you're
giving
like,
up
oh,
a grand
yeah, we're dead.
It
We're
feels
dead.
like giving up a grand slam, or because it's that significant. I mean, one goal is extremely significant in a soccer game. So you give it up, it's a punch to the stomach, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was fun. Obviously, there was plenty of college basketball, watching the Aztecs and stuff. But do want to get into the Padres. We'll start there this morning and go through their weekend. I'll start by saying we spent this entire offseason, especially you, Woods, a lot of consternation about the Padres and the direction of the organization, ownership, payroll. Are they going to be retrenching? Are they going to be trading away big-time players to save money, to get under the salary, luxury tax level? And it looks like, and while AJ can always surprise, certainly looks like now heading into the season that none of that is going to happen. And a story that came out yesterday kind of reiterated that fact when Garrett Cole of the New York Yankees reportedly is going to need Tommy John surgery. He's getting a second opinion, but you know how these usually go. The Yankees are probably going to be without a major starter. They already lost Luis Gil for 6 to 8 weeks, probably a couple of months.
Probably longer.
They are now probably in the market for starting pitching. And Ken Rosenthal writing in The Athletic, significant trades in spring training are rare. San Diego Padres general manager AJ Preller, who has entertained conversations on Dylan Cease and Michael King, prefers to keep his team together, sources say. So after all the talk, all the trade rumors, seemingly every day or every other day involving Dylan Cease, Michael King, Luis Ariz. Who are the Padres going to deal? They're certainly going to deal with at least one of them, right, this offseason. Now we've gotten to here March 10th, and AJ's once again, all right, let's just keep the chips in the middle of the table, see how we do here in 2025. At least that's the read I'm getting on the San Diego Padres now this season.
Yeah, and I think if you're a Yankee fan today, you're pretty sick to your stomach. You've lost 2 starters for a significant amount of time. You didn't do much in the offseason after losing Juan Soto to the crosstown rival Mets. You were in the World Series. You were a couple of defensive plays away from being more in the World Series, really. I mean, Dodgers played really well, felt like a team of destiny, but they certainly kicked it around enough. Dodgers got pretty lucky. Not that they're not skilled. They are really, really skilled. But, I mean, Aaron Judge doesn't drop fly balls. Anthony Rizzo knows how to charge. Garrett Cole knows how to cover first base. You're talking about a different series entirely. You get that close, the offseason comes rolling around, and there's guys out there that can help you, and you decide, now we're going to kind of roll with what we've got. We're going to add, some little pieces here and there. I mean, Max Fried is a big signing, certainly. But, man, you feel now they're up against it, man. They're losing. They're 2 out of their 5 starters are going to be out for a significant amount of time. That's rough.
Now, if you were AJ Preller, this is the time to strike.
Indeed.
This is when prices go up, 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 up. Teams are desperate, and they may be willing to offer quite a bit more. But it doesn't look like that's the direction the Padres are going.
Well, I mean, at least not today. At least not today. That can absolutely change. How if you're Brian Cashman and you're Hal Steinbrenner, I mean, how desperate do you feel today? I would imagine you wake up and you feel pretty desperate because your window with Aaron Judge, and I mean, really, like you look at the other guys on that team, and do you look at this now and you go, all right, like we're just gonna not punt, but we're gonna give it our best effort. I really have no idea what you do. Or are you going to overpay for a Dylan Cease?
2 words. Sandy Alcantara.
Sandy Alcantara's out there.
And Ken Rosenthal wrote about that as well, but he said that possibility, at least it looks like the Marlins are going to hold off until the trade deadline before they, entertain Sandy Alcantara trade offers.
Because he still has, I believe he's got 3 years left of control at a decent enough.
So the price tag there is
point.
absolutely through the moon.
Yeah.
If you're the Marlins.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's massive.
Yeah.
It's massive. So, but, he's coming off of injury as well. Dylan Cease is actually the guy. If you're the New York Yankees, he's the guy you look at and go, we got to replace a ton of innings, and you're going to get 180 quality innings from Dylan Cease with really, really good stuff. Yeah, I mean, he would be the guy I think if I were Cashman and them, I would overpay for. Now, it's also it's a gamble of AJ Preller. Is it more of a gamble to trade him, or is it more of a gamble to keep him? Dylan Cease.
No, it's a legitimate question.
Yeah.
Because the worst outcome is keeping him.
And you're terrible.
And he has a mediocre season, and you didn't get anything for him when you could have gotten a giant haul for him right now.
And this is it. And we'll get more into this, certainly. Andy says, I really don't want to lose Cease, but at the same time, I don't want to lose him to free agency for nothing. I couldn't agree more. But guess what? Teams will have pitching needs at the deadline as well. Could you get more or less now? That's the thing that they got to figure out.
All right, we will talk more Padres coming up. The competition for the 5th starters role, the last job in the outfield and the bench. Some interesting developments over the weekend. We can talk about the Cactus League action as well. All of our regular features don't do this. Take on Woods is back with Woodsy here. Maybe even a Klug report in our final hour if Adam can get one together in place of Paul Reindl. Let's take a time out, though. We'll come back, go through the weekend that was for your San Diego Padres in Arizona. 2 weeks from today, they break camp. They are done. So we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel for spring training. It's all coming up with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. First, though, we're going to tell you about
gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466.
We needed the little disclaimer. Yeah, we're going to tell you about 7 Mile Casino, our place here. You were just in Las Vegas.
Bro, let me tell you, man, the difference in walking into 7 Mile Casino and the difference in walking into any other casino is dude, yes, the recirculated smoky air. I can't get the smell out of my my clothes, my hair, my kids were just like, this sucks, Dad. I mean, I can't take my kids to 7 Mile yet, but when I can, I will, because it's a totally different environment.
It feels more modern, feels more year 2025 as opposed to something in the 1970s. When you go into 7 Mile Casino, upscale, you feel like they've taken some care with the place. They want you to feel good, comfortable there, and they've set it up. Not only just the casino and the places where you play California style blackjack and Texas Hold'em, but the restaurant, the TVs all over the place, the patio. It's just a cool place that you want to go and spend some time at.
There's no doubt. They got all the card games that you want to play, no slot machines. It's you never realize what you have till you go somewhere else and see what it could be. And it's far superior. It's something I enjoy a million times more than going to a Vegas casino. 7 Mile Casino, my friends, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Has there been a 180 in the competition for the Padres' fifth starter's job? Welcome back. It is Ben and Woods on a Monday morning here on 97.3 The Fan. Woods, I would have said going into spring training camp, just based on their experience from last year, that Matt Waldron and Randy Vasquez had at least an inside edge to win that fifth starter's job.
The old leg up.
The leg up, as it were, from Mike Schilt.
Yeah.
I didn't know Mike Schilt as he does.
Oh, yeah.
And we talked to him at FanFest about that, and again when we were there, and that certainly was important to him. He pointed out, Randy Vasquez made 20 good starts for us. Matt Waldron basically kept the team afloat in the middle of last season. I think those two guys went in with that leg up in the competition. But as we've gone through spring training and another weekend passes, it's starting to look more and more like the two guys with the leg up for the fifth starter's job could be Kyle Hart and Stephen Kolek, with Matt Waldron
100%.
and Randy Vasquez starting to fade back a little bit. Not that they won't have roles with the San Diego Padres this year, might still be important contributors, but you saw this weekend, and Stephen Kolek didn't actually get, because of the rain out on Friday, didn't actually get into a Cactus League game, but from what Sammy Levitt was reporting for us in Arizona and what others said, Stephen Kolek absolutely dazzled again in a backfield game. I mean, he got so many outs. They said 3 innings, but they said really got about 5 or 6 innings worth of outs just by just quick outs. The guy's throwing a heavy, two-seamer sinker that really heavy ball to get quick outs, quick grounders.
Yeah.
He is looking really, really sharp.
I love that. And again, man, like we Padres fans, we Ben and Woods, we Gwen and Chris, we everybody, we're like, oh boy, with the Rule 5 guy on the roster. Come on, man. Is this where we're at? We're spending all this money. We got a Rule 5 guy out there trying to get important outs for the San Diego Padres last year. There was something in him that AJ saw and that Ruben has been able to tweak to turn him into, at least in spring training so far, which is all we can kind of base it on. He had moments last year where you go, oh, well, okay, this guy's got a little something, but you get that Rule 5 tag and everyone wants to start pulling your pants down on the playground just because you're a Rule 5 guy.
Yeah, he was never going to start for the Padres as a Rule 5 guy last year, but it sounds like that was really why AJ took him. He's a guy who can get quick outs and thus projects probably better as a starter than he ever did even as a reliever. You don't necessarily want him coming in with, 2 guys on and 1 out because he's not going to get tons of strikeouts, but he can get quick contact, quick outs, and he's been showing that this spring. Kyle Hart, haven't still seen a ton of him. He worked a couple of innings before that game, got rained out on Friday. The reports continue to be good though for the guy they signed out of Korea. They're
him. Yep,
Cy Young Award winner, and definitely an intriguing possibility. On the other hand, Matt Waldron struggled again yesterday. Gave up 6 runs. It wasn't entirely his fault. There was some bad defense behind him. He got let down a little bit. But that knuckleball,
I think he walked 4 wild. It was Nuclear Loose. It was like 4 walks, 4 wild pitches.
The thing was, sometimes, the knuckleball was floating around all over the place. I mean, no one could catch it.
Yeah.
But it also wasn't going into the strike zone.
Correct.
And the guys were just letting it go by.
Is that some Arizona in there too?
It might be. That's why I'm not saying that Matt Waldron is washed here in the race for the 5th starter's job. And
he's got about a 9 ERA in spring.
And Jesse, I was listening to Jesse and Scan. We're calling the game yesterday. It made a really good point that, in a normal game, if the knuckleball's just not quite getting in the zone, Matt Waldron has other stuff he could go to, but the directive this spring has been work on the knuckleball. So he may have stuck with it a lot longer than he would have in a regular season game, and to his detriment, at least numbers-wise, ended up giving up those 6 runs yesterday in the loss to the Giants. Randy Vasquez still kind of on the struggling side as well. So it does feel like, at least at the moment, Stephen Kolek and Kyle Hart have emerged as the front runners for that 5th starter's job to start the season.
And the bench remains, really, really an interesting scene for the San Diego Padres. Gavin Sheets hit a home run, second day in a row.
2 days in a row.
2 days in a row.
Hadn't done much until then, but this is why you at least signed him, for the possibility of some power.
The power he has is prodigious. I mean, it's prodigious power.
when he hits it, Benny, when he gets one, it goes, dude. It absolutely goes. So you see kind of what they saw in him. But yeah, the bench remains a really interesting part. How this roster is going to be filled out is going to be really, really interesting. Do you have the updates of the guys that were reassigned handy? They had a couple of those yesterday. No real surprises other than, Bradley Rodriguez continues to stay with the big club right now. There's something in him that they're seeing that makes him, and it's probably the plus fastball, the plus changeup for Bradley Rodriguez, but they're excited about him. And I think it would be really cool to see him break camp. I'm not sure it's going to happen.
Yeah, yesterday's options, Ryan Bergert, who had looked nice,
Yep.
in a starter's role early in the spring. Catcher Rodolfo Duran, don't know much about him. Outfielder Jonathan Perlaza.
Yep.
So he's been optioned, was considered one of those outfield options. Eduardiel Nunez, who's a relief pitcher. We've seen a little bit. Harold Chirino and Luis Patino.
Okay.
Still kind of coming on the comeback trail after his surgery, but they were all optioned down. But yeah, as you said, Bradley Rodriguez has been down with the flu, I think, for a couple of days that has been going through the clubhouse. So maybe they need to get one or two more looks at him before they make a final decision. But those were the moves made over the weekend. There is one competition that concerns me highly, though.
Gotcha.
And we had some developments on that over the weekend. Yeah, we can talk about what the Padres are going to do or not going to do behind the plate after a quick check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855.
Fan.
Yeah, a piece came out from Kevin Acey in the UT over the weekend that the Padres are strongly considering Martin Maldonado as one of their catching options this season based on his experience and defense, and that they are willing to accept the idea that they're not going to get much offense out of the position. You know what Martin Maldonado's current spring training batting average is?
Is it 0.0000? Has he hit some balls
I
hard?
don't know. I don't know. I don't think they're expecting
How's
it.
the exit velo?
But the
far?
fact that they are considering a guy who hasn't even gotten a hit in the spring, knowing that, offensively, he's coming off his worst ever performance. It was, down in the low 100s in batting average. And that may be acceptable for the San Diego Padres. Like, if you could sign up for 180 right now, they'd probably take it and go, yep, you are now one of our catchers, Martin.
Welcome aboard.
Maybe 000 is even too much for the Padres to accept, but the catching competition is fairly bleak right now. Don't mean to be insulting to any of the guys, but Luis Camposano still looks, kind of ragged. He is not.
There was a double yesterday, somebody said.
Did he have a double yesterday?
I think he had a double yesterday.
Nice. So he's
Big
off
Island
to
bum.
0-0-0. That's
All
good.
right. Okay.
That's good. Elias Diaz probably is going to make this team as well.
Probably your
they
starter.
signed him. He's probably your starter.
You're paying him $3.5 million or something.
Brett Sullivan remains in the organization, but no one has separated themselves or indicated anything other than the fact that, at least offensively and to a certain extent defensively as well, that the catching position may be a giant black hole for the Padres in 2025.
At least offensively.
Yeah,
because, again, Martin does give you some good defense.
Although even that has
been tough.
Dipped a little bit in recent years.
Well, he's
he's gotten older.
years old.
Everybody does. Father Time catches up with everybody. So I just don't know. Is it possible to have a good team with one position that just isn't very good?
Yes,
Absolutely.
100%.
You don't need all-stars. You don't need MVP candidates at every position on the diamond. If the
listen, you need to essentially plug this hole, right? You need 2 or 3 warm bodies, Ben, that can get a job done. To even listen to me saying it, like Steven Coronado, get a bunt down if need be, right? If you have to, right? Like Martin Maldonado, get ready to learn bunt, buddy. Whatever you got to do, just so that the 9 hole isn't dead, or maybe even the 8 hole isn't just a dead out every single time. But we got to the NLCS with Austin Nola starting, Ben. So yes, you absolutely can have a weaker position. Will Smith didn't hit for the Dodgers at all last year. I mean, did nothing. As soon as he ran his mouth about Profar, he had a terrible year, and they won the World Series. So I'm okay with it now. But yeah, it definitely needs to be addressed. Here's the thing: can we weather the storm for a year? It's a year, basically.
Even less, maybe.
Maybe.
If you get to the trade deadline and you are, performing well,
yep,
there may be some options that are available that you can acquire at that point. The question is, can the Padres tread water for a few months?
Right.
With the catching position looking
I think they can. I think they
uninspiring as it does.
I think they can.
The intangibles for Maldonado seem to be off the chart.
Sure.
Works well with the pitchers.
We have a lot of those guys. We have a lot of intangible guys.
Yeah.
We have the intangibles are pouring out of the clubhouse right now. They really are. We have plenty of leadership. We have plenty of veteran leadership. We have veterans that are able to play a couple of different positions. We're good. We're good on that front. We have good starters. We have good starting pitching. We have seemingly a pretty good bullpen. Like, if this is our biggest problem as it stands a couple of weeks away from opening day, I feel pretty decent about where the Padres are. Eric just says, we know we need a catcher that can hit. There's like 4 catchers that can hit. So we don't have one of those 4. We've got one of the 26 remaining. Or 3 or 4 of the 26 remaining. It is what it is at this point. I mean, I look around the league and I go, you got Salvi, you got Adley Rushman, who had a bad for him year last year. You've got the Ohapi kid that hits pretty good in Anaheim. Real Muto hits pretty well. Who?
Wilson
Contreras, but he didn't even catch anymore. William Contreras. Austin Wells is terrible for the Yankees. Like, you go around and you're like, all right, it's not like we're the lone team that has, maybe an offensive hole behind the dish. But again, I do think, if we can weather the storm, Ethan Salas is going to be the guy for the future. I do believe that. So
it makes him almost a year away. It makes him almost completely untradeable, though.
Which I was ready to move him 6 months ago. Like, if you could have attached to, somebody else and gotten rid of stuff. Yeah, I was looking at it now after seeing this. I go, man, it's dire.
It's a reminder why he's so valuable, even though no one knows if Ethan Salas is really going to hit consistently on the big league level.
You do feel like the defense is going to be there.
He's going to have a job in the big leagues for a long time to come.
You really do feel like the defense for Ethan Salas is going to be there. You really do. And if he hits, you just feel like, man, it's going to be a bonus, which is what you can say about a lot of catchers in the big leagues.
Now, for that last outfield spot, you feel like you've got options. And I don't really know that anyone has lost or won the job.
I think Tirso's won it.
Tirso's looked very good, but I mean, Oscar Gonzalez has played well.
He has.
Jason Hayward has the experience, and Connor Joe's been getting on base. Did it again yesterday, had an RBI double.
Yep.
Been getting on base, almost at a 500 clip.
Well, he can platoon. He can play it. He can platoon it first with a rise.
Remember, you keep too many of those guys, then you won't have room for Gavin Sheets. There is a bit of a roster crunch.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Coming for AJ Preller at the end of spring training, and some tough decisions he's going to have to make for the 25th and 26th guys on how he wants to do that. Eggy is another guy that, has some versatility, played some shortstop over the weekend. And then you pick up over the weekend Jose Iglesias.
Yep.
He got in his first action for the Padres as well. That just makes the decision that much more difficult when it comes down to the final couple of roster spots for the Padres.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is we're in a good position right now. You do feel pretty damn solid about, you feel really solid about 7 of your 9 positions on the team. I mean, again, catcher, it's going to be somebody with a middling offense and okay defense. Left field, you feel we've got good options. Like we're going to be okay there. And your other 7, you feel pretty good
A
about.
little worried about the hitting up the middle in the infield at second base and shortstop. I mean,
What do you mean?
well, I mean Xander.
Oh, Xander and Crony,
Jake, whether they come through at the levels that you hope they can come through.
Sure.
At. That'll be pretty determinative for the Padres this year.
Pivot players.
Those guys have good seasons. There's like the
Yeah,
sky
we're
is the limit for the Padres. If they don't, you're going to need a lot of production from the sides, from your corners to make up for it. So they are very much pivot players offensively for the San Diego Padres. Coming up. All right, we'll talk more Padres baseball. Have our biggest fan as well as we move on here on a Monday. But how about our newest team in town, SDFC, goes on the road again and dazzles. And Coach Mikey Varas isn't even that happy with his team's performance. We can discuss a little soccer before we get to Don't Do This in our second hour on a Monday morning on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. excited I would be about a brand new team in a sport that I haven't followed religiously my entire life. But I'll say 3 matches in, I kind of have the bug for SDFC, Woods.
Hook, line, and sinker,
Yeah.
my friend. I mean, laying in a hotel room in Vegas, killing time before a show, put it up on my phone. Bo was running over because he wanted to watch on my phone as well. Again, couldn't figure out how to cast to the hotel TV. So we're watching on my phone. We saw the goal by Salt Lake, Real Salt
17th
Lake.
minute, yeah.
17th minute in, we're like, oh, boy. And, there is that weird feeling, like there's that weird feeling after the 0-0 tie. The last game, you're looking at it going, all right, we need to punch one in. We had some opportunities, didn't get it done early. But I like the way they play, Benny. They're so good at moving the ball around. I mean, they're just crisp, moving the way they pass, the way they set up the plays, really good. Our keeper is wheels off. He's great. He's fantastic to watch, but he makes your stomach churn a little bit.
So I had the pleasure of getting to watch the game alongside my favorite bartender, Patty, at the Regal Seagull, who was a former professional soccer player. He was a goaltender, semi-pro leagues, and has played his entire life from South Africa. So I actually was kind of peppering him with some questions. And yeah, there was some ragged play for SDFC. They were just in front of their own goal. They were playing very dangerously.
Very loose.
And he goes, just get it out. I mean,
He's
like, just
yes,
get it out of there.
Out.
Get it out of there.
Clear it.
You're playing with fire here. And they did give up the 1 goal, but they eventually settled in. The goal to tie the game by I think Franco Negri.
Yep.
The header right before halftime, 43rd minute. What a sensational play that was. And Patty was kind of explaining to me, he had to put all of the juice into that as well by just throwing his body, his head at it to get enough speed where it got past the Real Salt Lake keeper. Really a phenomenal goal that changed the momentum of the game. You go into halftime down 1-0. You haven't scored in 3+ halves. It's a little different when you've got the goal now. You've got some momentum, and both teams had some opportunities. Had some good goalkeeping again by CJ Dos Santos that kept it a 1-1 game. SDFC had some chances, but no one could score, and it looked like they were headed for another draw, which you'll take. I have learned if you're on the road, and you will very much take that draw and that point and run and go, yeah, we're good. But instead, they get to stoppage time, and the first minute of stoppage time, the guy who has emerged now with Chucky Lozano injured as the new star for San Diego FC, Anders Dreyer scores his 3rd goal of the season. Got a nice bounce back on that crosser over the middle, put him in perfect position, and put it right between the keeper's legs.
It is
goal.
When they score, it is elite. It's a home run, hit 460 feet. But even that, you feel like you see it all the time. This is different. And I go back to, we had Darren Smith in here a couple of weeks ago before the opening match, and he talked about this team and their identity and what he said. And it's hard. Like you hear it from the coach's mouth before you've even played a match. You don't know how it's going to line up when you get out there. You don't know if you're going to be overmatched, far superior. But he talked about this team. They want to score. They realize they're going to give some up, but they want to score. And Mikey Varas talked about it too after the game of like, yeah, a lot of teams are going to be content with that 1-1 draw, and they're going to kind of play not to lose for the rest of the game. They didn't. They went on the attack, ended up scoring 2 more, which was just phenomenal. They were underdogs in that game. They were on the road. I took them as dogs. I was pretty stoked on that.
Salt Lake's perennial playoff team, and it's altitude. It's a good win on the road. JWW points out in the chat, and I do have to learn the players a little bit more. I'm still getting familiar, but he said Dreyer's goal was amazing. The drive to the goal, even more impressive. Yeah, coming down the right side of the field, guy passed it to himself, sprinted past him and beat him. That set up the whole thing that gave them the opportunity to score. Was really exciting. And as you said, Ingvartsen added that insurance goal late as, Salt Lake was desperately looking for an equalizer, didn't get it. So SDFC wins again. They're now 2-0-1. Still unbeaten in franchise history.
Pretty awesome.
And they're now in 2nd place of 15 teams in the Western Conference. After 3 games, it's still early. You were just commenting before the show. There's more games than you realize.
Yeah.
It's not football season with 16 even though they only play once a week generally. It's like a 34 game regular season. They're playing all the way into the fall, so they've got a long way to go. But what a phenomenal start for San Diego FC. Now they come back with another tough game against Columbus on Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium. Still looking for that first home win and home goal. Be nice to get that excitement in front of their own fans. They've had plenty of excitement on the visiting side, but let's get some for the home fans now.
Let's not be the team where you have to travel to a remote location to go watch you win a soccer match and score some goals. Let's use that home field advantage and try to keep this thing rolling, man, because I got to admit, it has been really, really fun to watch. These guys are good, dude, and you lose Chucky Lozano, you have guys step up in his place, and it's been really, really fun. And it's appointment viewing 100% right now.
Not the only local teams to win over the weekend. On Friday night, the San Diego Seals improved to 1-0 in franchise history in games that Stephen Woods misses at home.
My first one, man. I got to tell you, this weekend was so uncomfortable for me. We planned this trip.
Their entire franchise. You've been there, right? Every home game, right?
Yeah, I've never missed a game. And the entire weekend was so morbidly uncomfortable. You know who I am and how I am. I missed 2 of Bo's games, 1 of Taylor's games, 1 of my games, a Seals game, and I feel like I missed something else. I mean, that's 5 commitments that I had that I could not make over the weekend. My stomach was in knots, just churning. I had to do a lot of manipulating on the road. Like, are you going to be there? Do you need the balls? Make sure to go by Paulie's house. Like, it was bananas. And then trying to get this kid set up that filled in for me. But I was so happy that they got a win for him. But yeah, man, I loved that they won. I'm glad that they won. Don't care that I wasn't in the building, but it was odd, man. I have been to every single home game. I got some nice messages from people saying, we miss you here. We miss you screaming into the microphone. But we had this thing planned and it kind of coincided. So it was time to finally miss one. And I wasn't real happy about it.
It's good to feel missed, though.
It is.
Westberg scored 4 goals. They avenged
incredible.
An earlier loss to Vancouver, beat the Warriors 13-11. I assume you will be there for Sunday's home game against Las Vegas. Afternoon game on Sunday.
Yeah, I believe it's a 1:30 start.
The season's we're down to the nitty-gritty here.
2 more home games.
So and they're 6-6, so they gotta finish strong to make sure they make it to the postseason.
Indeed.
Let's see. Our rugby team's playing great. The Legion are 4-0. They won over the weekend. That was good. The Soccers won twice over the weekend, including yesterday over the Kansas City Comets, 7-3. All in all, and we'll talk college basketball as well with wins for San Diego State and UCSD coming up later in the hour. But all in all, I mean, you don't have that many great sports weekends for San Diego. This was a pretty good one for fans of a variety of teams in our town. There was a lot of success that happened over the weekend and some exciting games to watch. So it was a pretty fun one.
It was, and I was watching from afar, but yes, still watching. And yeah, man, it was a weird feeling, Benny. I have been there since day one, so it was an odd feeling to have to turn the mic over to somebody else. Never been sick, never, missed a game. And it was weird. It was a weird one.
Let's see what else we have going. Oh, I want to congratulate one of our local golfers had a good weekend as well. Michael Kim finished 4th at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Torrey Pines kid has been playing really well. That was a dramatic finish as well. Russell Henley chipped in for eagle on the 16th hole. Colin Morikawa had led pretty much all day. Looked like he was going to cruise to the win, and it was a bit of a turnaround. And this week's the Players Championship at the Island Green at Sawgrass, one of the biggest events of the year. So golf season is kicking up as well. Just a lots going on this weekend, and we're now just 2 weeks away from opening day. 2 weeks from Thursday now for the San Diego Padres for opening day against the Atlanta Braves. So we're getting into that finally the summer season is ahead of us. I know it's still technically winter, but time has changed. The sun's finally coming up now after 7 a.m. It is so hard to get used to that time change when you get up early in the morning.
Last night trying to get the kids down, no problem. They were exhausted from the trip, but we pushed their bedtime back like 45 minutes an hour, which is brutal on us, because we like to get to bed early. I got to get up early. So,
well, they sleep later in the morning, though.
Yeah, but I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here, so it doesn't affect me. But getting up this morning, you can definitely feel the difference. And I know everyone is super excited that it It's light out at 6:00 at night. That was great. Fine. It was a beautiful day yesterday, but now the rain's coming allegedly this week.
Saw
It's going
that.
to wash us all out.
Yeah, saw that. My buddy's coming in. We're supposed to play a little golf this weekend, so I'm hoping that San Diego prevails over what is a somewhat dicey forecast for later in the week.
It's going to be moist.
I mean, looked like I was looking at my app, and I'll check in with Megan Perry tonight. But yeah, I saw Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like chance of rain every single day starting
chamber.
tomorrow.
In the chamber, man.
That's not very San Diego like.
No, it's not at all. It's not at all. Maybe we push Little League back a couple of weeks every year. You know what I mean?
It's funny. You could have played the last 7 months.
Right.
You would have had no rain whatsoever.
Mhm.
But now we need it. It's just
Of course.
all comes a little too fast.
That's
for
right.
us.
That's right. So yeah, opening day, 2 weeks from this Thursday. Adam Klug is in the house. He's filling in for Paulie today. Do we have any plans yet, Kluger, on where we're going to be and what we're going to do? The usual?
Yeah, I believe we've got our plans locked up. We will absolutely be out and about broadcasting downtown.
Cool.
I'm 98% sure we've got the location. I guess I just don't want to say it yet in case. It's
Just in
not
case
confirmed.
something falls through. Okay. Yeah. All right. Going to be, I mean, it's always a blast. Being down there opening day is
It's a
blast.
day game. Is the
Yeah,
first
It's a
opening day?
110.
110.
Assuming
On
we
a
don't
Thursday.
get rained postponed like we did last year. We did.
That was
wasn't
2
pushed
years
back
ago.
2 years ago.
That was the worst.
where it was pushed back.
The
yeah.
Blake Snell start. We got smoked. It was by the Rockies. It was horrible.
It's a playoff rematch.
Yeah. Braves coming in town. See, Jerks and Profar over the weekend. Scary moment.
No.
Crisis averted for the Atlanta Braves so far. Spent a lot of money to bring Jerks and Profar in. He's going to play left field for them. He's going to be hitting high up in their lineup. And he, in spring training, goes and dives for a ball and rolls over that wrist. And they said, oh, God, this looks exactly like what happened to Adam Duvall a couple of years ago. He was out 6 months or whatever. Profar, they said he's okay right now. But
Apparently a bone bruise expected to be ready for opening day.
I mean, you dove so hard you bruised your bone. Maybe you let up and it's spring training. I would tell my guys, do not leave your feet. Don't leave your feet. Unless you are trying to make this club, don't leave your feet. Jackson Merrill, you stay on your feet. Fernando Tatis, Manny, all you guys, don't dive for a ball. Don't overexert yourself. Get your work in. But, I mean, straight up play it like Roger Dorn, dude. Really. Like, do not leave your feet for a ball.
Olay.
Olay it. I don't care, man. I know what I've got with you guys. But if you're Tirso Ornelas, yeah, man, leave your feet. Do what you got to do. But for Jerks and Profar to roll up over his wrist, I mean, Atlanta Braves Nation was in shambles yesterday. Turns out he's going to be okay.
Don't Do This is coming up next. I have a teammate versus teammate lawsuit involving a golf cart and something I actually have personal experience with.
Boy.
We can talk about that coming up. Kelly's got some traffic. First, though, Woods is going to tell you about Underdog.
Oh man, I've had so much fun with Underdog. You guys know that. It's been a blast. And you guys know how daily fantasy works, right? You just pick higher or lower on player stats. And look, admittedly, not the world's biggest basketball fan. So I'm kind of biding my time for the tournament, the college basketball tournament, and I'm biding my time for baseball season, which is where I feel like I'm really going to shine. But now Underdog is available to play right here in our state of California. All you have to do is download the Underdog app, use the promo code WOODS when you sign up to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Got all your favorite leagues, teams, stars to choose from. Create entries with, you can do some basketball, some golf, some baseball when it gets started. It's going to be fun. You can play with as little as $1. To get everything right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. So very simple. Just download the Underdog app, sign up, get $1,000 in bonus cash. Use the promo code WOODS. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona and Massachusetts. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms do apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
omitted the San Diego Gulls. They've also been playing well, a lot of winning hockey lately and climbing back into the playoff race in the AHL. So didn't want to shortchange anybody. Don't Do This is brought to you by Trust and Will. Don't leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die. Do set up a Trust or Will online at trustandwill.com. This is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. All right, I'll start with a story that I actually have personal experience with. Arizona State running back Cam Scatterbo was kind of a sensation, led his team to the college football playoffs last year, nearly upset Texas.
You were a running back
No.
led your team to the national championship.
That is not where I have experience.
okay.
Cam Scatterbo, is actually being sued.
You got sued
by a former teammate.
Oh.
No, that's not what I have the experience with either.
All right.
Here's what the story is. So, allegedly, former Sun Devil Matios Catagaras alleges that Scatterbo caused him serious injury by jumping onto the back of a golf cart Catagaras was riding in. Scatterbo's action caused Catagaras to suffer an elbow injury that is yet to recover from, the suit claims. He's suing the running back for over $300,000, according to the Arizona Republic. I'm not sure how exactly that happened, like if he landed on the back and it caused the guy to fly out of the cart and hurt himself. But the part I have experience with is that when I was on my college golf team, I was playing around. One of my teammates was driving the cart, and we were going down a steep hill on a par 3, and he was going way too fast, took the curve too sharply. Eric jumped out as the driver, very, very gracefully, actually, like jumped out of the cart, landed no problem, leaving me in the cart that was then tipping over, fell over on top of me.
Oh.
I completely, like, my arm was all battered and scraped up, and I was pretty mad, that
I don't mean to
he
laugh,
was the one.
but
He was the one who was driving recklessly, and I was the one who suffered all the consequences of the golf cart injury.
all right, so I'm going to understand this again. He's driving, you're in the passenger
Yes,
seat, you
I'm
were
in the
not hanging on the
No,
back.
I was not hanging. I was just sitting in the passenger seat.
And he bailed.
He hits the turn hard and realizes
I'm
that
dead.
he's not going to make it. So he just jumps out,
Ejects.
gracefully ejects,
And
lands on his
keeps
feet,
running.
just takes a couple of steps and stops. I cannot, because I am now. I didn't realize we were going to tip, so I'm now in the cart that is falling over the cart path. I land on the inside on the concrete, so my right arm completely down. I'm lucky I didn't break anything or suffer a worse injury. It was just a bloody mess that I had to deal with at that point. But I was not too happy with Eric Bianchini and his driving in that situation.
Hey, save yourself.
I did not sue him, though.
You could have.
I could have, though. I did not sue him like Cam Scatterbo's teammates sued him.
I'll admit it, pretty reckless golf cart driver. I like to go fast. I take sharp turns. I've almost killed Paulie several times. I don't know why anybody rides with me anymore.
They have those governors on more
They
carts
do.
now, where if you're going downhill or steep slopes, they will just slow you down to almost nothing.
But if you know maybe somebody that works at the club, they can teach you how to turn that governor off. And I might know a guy that has enabled me to do that. It's a fun little trick that you can do. But now, I mean, would Paulie sue me? I don't think so. But if I really hurt him, he probably would and could. Well, I mean, look.
I would hope you would take care of him if you
Of
really
course I
hurt him.
would. Of course
Apparently,
I would.
Cam Scatterbo is not taking care of his teammate.
Well, he's about to get drafted. He's
Yeah.
going to make some money.
Yeah.
You better stroke this guy this check, let it go away, and call it a day. I know that we've talked about Firefest before many times, the scam music festival that ran afoul of authorities. And I think the guy served time in prison for scam and fraud and all this. Well, he got out of prison and is going to run it back. Firefest 2 is officially on, and they've booked, Ben, their first big name performer to perform at Firefest 2 down in Mexico. It's Antonio Brown is going to be the first guy on the billboard, on the marquee. He is a rapper. He promised in a video that he will entertain the masses at the newest iteration of Firefest in Mexico. It kicks off on May 30th, so we're getting close. He said, be there or be square, and make sure you put that S on. If any of our audience is listening and you're going to Firefest. I'd like you to find another radio show. I really would.
I saw a story last week that the venue where Firefest 2 is supposedly going to be held,
They didn't know.
doesn't know anything about it at this point.
But
Here's my question. Are you really wanting to go to Firefest, or at this point, are you hoping to get scammed? Is that
to sue or something?
Is that part of the fun at this
No.
point? Like, I missed out on getting scammed by the first Firefest and getting my cheese sandwich on the deserted island.
Yeah, in a tent.
I want to get scammed this time. Would you be disappointed if you went to Firefest
And
and
it
like
went
it's
off.
kind of a normal,
Just a festival.
okay, decent music festival?
Well-
I think you want to get scammed if you're buying tickets to Firefest too.
Well, listen to this. There's multiple other acts allegedly, in addition to Antonio Brown, by the way, who Antonio Brown is that's your guy you release first. Most of the talent has agreed to lead experiences for festival goers away from the stage, including taking fans on whale shark excursions, leading MMA training sessions, ATV adventures, and beach football activities with AB.
You know, none of this is actually happening, right?
I don't think it's going to happen. And if it does, do you think it's safe to be riding around on ATVs with Antonio Brown down in Mexico, probably 15 tequilas deep? Again,
Just as
does this
safe
guy
as
want?
riding with Eric Bianchini.
That's true. Does this guy want to go back to prison? I wonder. It can't be good. If anybody out there wants to go this, please got to look yourself in the mirror and ask why. Why do you want this? So that we will keep you abreast of that. I'm fascinated by it.
Finally, a little do this for a Monday.
DD Mega Doo-Doo.
Yeah, pretty cool. From college baseball, the UC Santa Barbara Gauchos hosting Cal State Northridge, the Matadors. 9-8 Matadors in the bottom of the ninth inning. Gauchos, I don't know if he's infield or outfielder. Latrey McCollum had already had a single, a double, and a triple in the game. Comes up with a man on, in the bottom of the ninth inning. You know what he needs, both for the cycle and the win. Here's what happened.
Abilities, but he also hits the ball the other way very well.
And he hits it to deep left
Come
field. And this one is out of here. A cycle and a walk-off for Latrey McCollum, and the Gauchos win it. How big is that?
Wow.
Oh, my. We talked about it earlier, and he comes up huge for the
That's so
Gauchos.
sick.
Oh, my.
Sick.
I'm out of my seat. I don't believe it. Latrey McCollum circles the bases with his second career homer.
Just second
A
home run ever.
cycle and a walk-off, and the Gauchos sweep the Matadors.
That's pretty cool. Now, this is the first cycle for a UC Santa Barbara player in 28 years since Michael Young did it in
Ooh.
1997
Texas Rangers legend Michael Young. Wow.
from the University of California at Santa Barbara.
That's pretty cool, man. I mean, a cycle is rad. I wouldn't know, but
But a walk-off cycle, that's
I've
going to
never
be
gotten
one of the
I've never
rarest.
gotten close to a cycle. I think any game I hit a home run in, I didn't get it. I
Well,
didn't.
the triple's the hardest.
Triples you get pop for me. Are you kidding? Home run's pretty tough. Home run's
But
pretty
at least
tough.
you don't have to sprint.
That's
If
true.
you get the home run, they can't get you out. But the triple's the impossible one.
I mean, and then to win the game with the homer to get the cycle is pretty elite. That's a good dude.
Talk about unlikely cycles. You know the Marlins shortstop Xavier Edwards?
Yeah. Wasn't
He
he a
had-
Padre?
Former
Yep.
Padre. He hit one home run last year.
Cycle home run.
Cycle home
In
run.
that game, he hit
Wow.
the cycle.
Pretty sick. Pretty
And
sick.
that's don't and do this for a Monday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, speaking of college sports, talk a little hoops when we come back. The regular season is over. Has San Diego State done enough to punch their ticket into the field of 68, or do they still need to win at least one more game in the Mountain West tournament? We can talk about their game on Saturday night and more, UCSD as well. Coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, Woods is going to tell us about Loan Pronto.
Oh, listen up, my fellow home-owning friends. If you own a home right now and maybe you're in a little bit of credit card debt, you built up some equity in your home, what could you do with an extra $75,000 or even a couple $100,000? You can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. They are the leader in quickly converting your home's equity into cold, hard cash. Pay off your credit cards, pay off your cars, start the home remodel. That's your money. Use it. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. Virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, oftentimes no appraisal.
The average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That is your money. Use it, get it out, use it for what you need it for. You can get approved in as little as a day. So act now with no hard credit pull up front by calling 619-207-4336 or going to loanpronto.com. Get the money you need for anything. 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Gotten a lot of concert announcements for Petco Park, Gallagher Square in recent weeks. This one might be of interest to you, Woods. Counting Crows coming to Gallagher Square on August 7th.
I like them. I like them.
Hard to handle. Hard to handle?
Not even close.
No.
That's the Black Crows.
Black Crows. Different crows. Why would you have two bands that are so similarly named? Not the musical expert on this show.
I understand.
We're very
that,
clear on that, right?
but I mean,
what's one of the Counting Crows songs then?
Round
Mr.
here,
Jones.
Mr. Jones.
There we go.
Yes.
Mr. Jones.
Yes. They have a lot of hits. Yeah, Different Crows is a great name for a third Crows band. We're Different Crows.
The tour will feature special guest, the Gaslight Anthem.
Oh, I like the Gaslight Anthem.
Although in San Diego, they should be the Gas Lamp Anthem.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good combo. It's a weird combo for me. But Sheryl Crow, maybe.
Sheryl
yeah,
Crow.
how about that?
They should have They should do a whole
Crows, yes.
Black Crows, Counting Crows,
Sheryl Crow. Yeah.
All together.
It's fantastic.
All right.
Fantastic. Yeah, I like them. I haven't seen them ever. And I think I'd like to. When is that concert?
They are coming August 7th to Gallagher Square at Petco Park. Tickets go on sale
dude.
March 14th, this Friday at 10 a.m.
All right, let me look real quick. I'm going to go to my calendar. April, May, June, July. August what?
August 7th.
Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Get Jake Cronenworth to bring them up. It's from Ray. Yeah, I like them, but it's a Thursday night. I don't know. We'll see.
It's quite the tour. Wow. My goodness.
It's a big one.
From June to November. It looks like about 50 dates at least. Nashville all the way to London, Portsmouth, England, Lisbon, Portugal, Milan, Italy, Lyon, France, Zurich,
and then Gallagher
Vienna,
Square,
Stuttgart, Oslo, Amsterdam, West Valley City, Utah. Wow, that's quite the tour.
Yeah, buddy. I mean, a
Counting
huge
Crows.
band. Huge band. So
don't know. Speaking of touring, don't know where the San Diego State Aztecs will be heading. Hopefully somewhere. Selection Sunday is this coming Sunday,
buddy.
And once again, the Aztecs got the win that they needed on Saturday night at Viejas Arena, senior night.
Big one.
As they beat Nevada fairly handily. It
Whipped them.
Wasn't one of those games that you're chewing on your fingernails all game long. They went up by 26-27 in the first half and held on for a 19-point win over Nevada. Pretty much a game they had to have. They got it. They will be the 4th seed in the Mountain West tournament.
Yep.
We'll take on Boise State. So there's certainly a couple of different schools of thought here. One is that the Aztecs have already done enough, that they're in, their resume is good enough, especially with the wins over Houston and Creighton early in the season. Houston is one of probably the 3 best teams in the country right now. You don't have a lot of teams that can match a win like that. And no matter what happens at the Mountain West tournament, the Aztecs will be in the field. The other school of thought is that Boise State is a bubble team. You've beaten them twice, but the last thing you want is for the committee to go, hey, why don't we just leave one spot open for the winner of that San Diego State Boise State game?
That would be terrible
on Thursday. So you can't feel totally at ease if you're an Aztecs fan, I think, until you get through that Boise State quarterfinal. But it is really hard to beat the same team, as they say, 3 times in one season. They already beat them twice. Can they absolutely wrap it up with a bow and clinch their spot in the NCAA tournament? That would be nice. Otherwise, I will be feeling a little bit nervous going into Selection Sunday. But yeah, good performance on Saturday night for the Aztecs. Didn't even need to really watch much of the second half of that one, just because it was pretty much a done deal. Miles Heide is the guy who has really stepped up his game.
He's been a stud, man.
With Magoon Guath hurt, hopefully maybe coming back this week, but Miles Heide has been outstanding. And early in the season, I was wondering if there was really a spot for him anymore. Instead, he has stepped up, had 14 points, 5 of 5 shooting. He has missed 2 shots in the last 5 or 6 games.
Yep.
Shooting over 91% from the field. Nick Boyd had 18 more points. I think he's going to get some all-conference votes. I think they're announcing all-conference teams tomorrow. Had a chance to honor some of the seniors, including Kimo Ferrari, for what is for their final game at Viejas Arena on Saturday night, and an impressive 80-61 win over Nevada. So now it's on to the Mountain West tournament And again, they'll play in that 4-5 quarterfinal game on Thursday afternoon. That's a 2:30 tip from the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas. New Mexico ended up as the 1 seed. They won the conference outright. So that's who the Aztecs would likely play in the semifinals if they win that game on Thursday, on Friday evening against New Mexico, who they split home and home. Each team won at home in the regular season.
You do get the sense, though, Benny, if they win that game on Thursday, they're in.
I think so.
They are going to the tournament.
I think so.
So are you playing then after if you win that game, you get the sense that you're in the tournament. Are you playing after that for a better seed?
Yeah, I think so. And that's important because even if they're in, doesn't mean that they're out of the play-in games. If they get an at-large bid, they could end up as one of those final 4 teams in, which means they'd have to play on Tuesday or Wednesday in Dayton, Ohio, which is, not impossible, but a tougher road. If you win your conference tournament, you're an automatic bid. They can't put you in the play-in game,
right?
Even if you think your seeding's there. So that's one way the Aztecs can definitely avoid the play-in game. Now, if they beat New Mexico for a second time, that probably would be good enough to bump them up to a 10 seed and avoid the play-in game as well. But
are you underselling this team right now and where they're going to be?
Maybe a little bit. I'm so scarred by,
yeah, of course, I get it.
Years of not having respect for San Diego State. It's almost weird to live in a world where you expect them to get maybe even a little bit more credit than they're due because of their Final Four run to the national championship game and just the consistency that they've shown under Steve Fisher and Brian Dutcher. That the committee's probably maybe thinking like, of course they're in. Are you crazy? It's San Diego State. But I'm never going to be totally comfortable until I see their name actually pop up in the bracket on Sunday.
And apparently there's a chance. There's a chance Magoon is back in action on Thursday.
So, yeah, Brian Dutcher was talking about it after the game. He's rehabbing on the treadmill. They have one of those like 0G treadmills where they kind of strap you in so it's not your whole weight and you're kind of running, but it's not pounding on your leg.
Yep.
He says that there's definitely less swelling in the knee, hyperextended knee, but there's a little tightness in his calf or quad.
Maybe
one of
his
the two.
IT band.
Yeah,
right
possibly.
So, yeah.
3 games in 3 days is not the ideal situation to return for an injured player. So you wonder what he could be capable of if he even does play in the Mountain West tournament.
Like the thought of teams having to prepare for him as if he may be back.
True.
The decoy bit, if you will, because again, Benny, if he's in there, it changes what you're going to do offensively, defensively, everything. So the threat of Magoon being back it may be enough to beat them for a 3rd straight time, honestly. So yeah, you get that win, Benny. You feel pretty good about this team playing in March and in the tournament. I thought Ziegler did a nice job in his piece talking about. I liked this, what he said. He said, the bracket matrix aggregates 92 projected brackets. The Aztecs appear already in 89 of them. And he said that bracketologists obsess about the conference tournaments, but the NCAA tournament selection committee really does not. So again, for posterity's sake, for a little extra deep breath, you win that first game and you're probably okay.
You do want to avoid a bunch of bid stealers, teams that win their conference tournament that wouldn't have been in the field otherwise, and then that steals bids away from the last few at-large teams.
Correct.
Like yesterday, really good news that Drake won their conference tournament. What is that, the Missouri Valley? Because they were going to get in either way. Drake's a good team, but the team that they were playing, I think Bradley, would not have been in. So when you have those situations where a potential at-large team loses in their conference tournament, that could be bad news for San Diego State and for UCSD, which also remains a candidate for an at-large and automatic bid. They finished their regular season on Saturday with a 68-57 win at UC Davis, clinching their first ever outright Big West title with an 18-2 record, finishing 1 game ahead of UC Irvine. With that, they automatically get a bye into the Big West tournament semifinals this week in Henderson, Nevada. They will play on Friday as the number 1 seed in the semis against an opponent to be determined. They win that, then it's on to Saturday's championship game, likely against UC Irvine, but depends on who wins the other semifinal. With the automatic bid on the line, the question would be, if they lost in that game, could UCSD, with a much better net ranking than San Diego State, but not nearly as tough of a schedule and playing in a lesser conference, could they actually get an at-large bid if they don't win the Big West tournament?
Would love to see it. Would love to see them in there as
Two
well.
teams
Would
in.
be
Here we are.
super
We're
fun.
last week, and it's very much a possibility that San Diego gets multiple teams into the NCAA tournament.
Super fun.
All right, let's check traffic. I want to get some of the football headlines were coming fast and
They
furious.
sure were, man.
Yesterday, and we can talk about some of the big moves in the NFL after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. So technically, Woods, NFL free agency doesn't begin until today, and that's even just the pre-free agency, like the legal negotiating period before you can actually sign guys. But that did not stop a bunch of moves. Now, those are for guys who are like their contracts expire.
Yeah.
But for guys who have been released by their teams, they can go out and sign. And you had a move yesterday with the Rams signing Devontae Adams over the weekend for a 2-year deal.
Yes.
Rams thinking that they are still going to go for it now that they got Matthew Stafford locked back up. They'll use Devontae Adams to replace Cooper Kupp and, try to remain contenders in the NFC. Then you had a big trade with a wide receiver yesterday with the Steelers acquiring DK Metcalf from the Seattle Seahawks.
Much needed.
Second-round pick and a late-round pick swap. Now, I don't know if that means George Pickens is on his way out. George Pickens is talented, but very flighty a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He's been hard to handle. The question is who's going to be throwing the ball to DK Metcalf in Pittsburgh, as they have yet to settle their quarterback situation.
So the rumor I saw was that Aaron Rodgers could be the guy. Now, I mean, look, if it were me, I'm going to pass on that every single time. I'm done. He's shown enough in the last couple of seasons to you kind of wonder, is there anything left? B, is the juice worth the squeeze for Aaron Rodgers to come into your locker room? Mike Tomlin's been with that team a long, long time. Could that relationship foster a new Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. Or if you're Mike Tomlin, are you like, I've been here so long, I can do what I want? Or is this going to be the nail in my coffin? I mean, there's a lot of different ways it can go.
I mean, the other teams that, that have been discussed, like Seattle,
yep.
I mean, but, they're clearly in a rebuilding phase.
Yeah.
That would just be, if Aaron Rodgers wants to win, the best place for him to go, I think, would be Pittsburgh.
Well, who says Aaron Rodgers wants to
I don't
win?
know,
He
but
went to the Jets. I mean, if you want
they thought they had a good team. They had a great defense when he showed up.
They did. And I get it. He
got
played
hurt.
30 seconds and got hurt. I understand. Geno Smith,
I don't think Mike Tomlin's going to put up with a bunch of Aaron Rodgers nonsense, though. Now, if Aaron Rodgers can play Mike Tomlin's game, I think they could actually be a good team and be successful.
Well, what in Aaron Rodgers would lead you to believe that he's willing and ready to change for one more season? I don't know, man. I just don't know. I really, really have no idea. DK it's a big move for them.
Yeah, I mean, they already gave him a 5-year contract extension, so he's locked in for $150 million. But the quarterback situation remains up in the air. Not up in the air is the quarterback situation in Buffalo, where Josh Allen got a record-setting $330 million contract through 2030, $250 million guaranteed. And I don't think anybody has a problem with that.
No.
Buffalo or elsewhere.
No.
I think Josh Allen he's
earned it.
You're going to trust someone for the next few years. He's tough.
Guy, yeah.
He's productive. He takes your team to the playoffs. He gives yourself, I think, a chance to be Super Bowl contenders. So a no-brainer for the Buffalo Bills. And how about the Cleveland Browns making defensive end Myles Garrett the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history? Just days after his trade demand, maybe that was a bit of a negotiating tactic because he gets a 4-year extension.
He was so adamant.
He was
so adamant that he is not. I'm not. Coming back here.
Bargaining only works when the other side believes you would.
Adam, I'm out right now. That's it. I'm walking away, walking out the door. Yeah, I mean, I'm blown away too, because there was as I read, I mean, the owner was like, I'm not budging. Like, if you want out, you can go. And then all of a sudden, this change of heart comes around and they're like, hey, dummy, we have to keep this guy. If we want to do anything at all. And frankly, like, if we want to continue to have butts in the seats here, we gotta keep this guy.
I wonder how that conversation goes with the GM. Like, we know you want to be traded. What if though we made you the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the NFL? Would that perhaps change your mind?
Okay.
All right. You twist my arm. Fine.
I mean, it's big money, dude.
Stick around.
I just, you feel like he's going to get big money wherever he goes. You know, he was going to get big money wherever he goes. But
he wasn't a free agent.
He wasn't a free agent.
The right
he was
to leave.
He was getting traded somewhere. And listen, the lesser of two evils, maybe. Staying in Cleveland. But yeah, he's getting paid, dude.
Now, the actual, trying to do some of the research this week, the actual free agency is not considered a premium class. Most of the guys who are of interest have already resigned or, been locked up. So it's not exactly a way to guarantee improving your team. There's going to be that quarterback carousel, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, a couple of Aaron Rodgers, a couple of other guys, and we'll see where they all land at the end of the period. But yeah, it's not considered a hugely transformative free agent period in the NFL.
And I was out in Vegas this week, and I drove by the Raiders stadium, and of course I saw Raiders merch everywhere. I haven't been able to commit fully, Ben. And then they went out and got Geno Smith, which does not make me want to jump in both feet to the Raiders. So maybe I'm still a man without a football team.
It's better than what they had, though.
The
question is,
it is.
Are they close enough that it's going to make a difference? Because they didn't look that close last year with Pete Carroll now and Geno Smith. I mean, they'll create some excitement and some buzz, I would think, in Las Vegas. But
it's a cool stadium. It is. It's a cool spot. Yeah. And
did you see the new Oakland A's site? Have they torn down?
I did not see that.
How did you not see it? You were staying at the MGM, right?
I didn't see.
Literally across the street.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yes.
Oh, Hannah goes, what do you think they're building there? I go, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea. That's where it is?
Yes.
Oh, no
where the Tropicana used to be on that corner with New York.
Yeah.
The MGM, the Excalibur, and the other corner is going to be the A's stadium.
Basically where we parked. It's right across the street. Yeah. I had no idea.
You didn't know that's
no
what
clue.
that was.
They don't. You would think there'd be big signs like "Future Home of the Las Vegas A's." Nothing. It had like Johnny's Construction. That's the only thing you saw.
But they are still. They're working on the. I mean, they tore down the Tropicana.
Oh
right?
yeah. It's
imploded.
gone.
It's gone.
That's so freaking
funny. I'm sure
funny.
It takes months just to clear the site and get it ready to start.
That's so funny. That's where it's going to be. I had no idea. Zero idea. I thought it was like the other end of the strip or something.
No, it's right there on that corner. Okay, I mean, that's why it's such an intriguing. I mean, it is a premium piece of property right there.
It's right there. I mean, it's right off the highway, like right off the freeway. That's a really good spot. Wow.
I mean, not just for for Vegas locals, it's probably not the greatest spot because you have to go to the strip. But for tourists, you're staying at. Well, you want to go to catch a baseball game when you're there. It is right there. You walk across one of those bridges over Las Vegas Boulevard, and you can go see an athletics game when you're in Las Vegas in the future. And as much as it sucks that Oakland has lost their team.
Terrible.
If you're an opposing fan and want to go to a game, this is going to be a great place to go visit, be a visiting fan and go watch the Padres or whoever when they make, Padres should make a trip every other year.
The funny
Angels
thing is
fans can go all the time.
Like Brandon says, just like T-Mobile's right by New York. Yeah, T-Mobile, where the Golden Knights play, is right there. I'm assuming that's where the NBA team that's going to be there eventually is going to play as well. That's a pretty cool. It's all gold. It's bronze. It looks really
Park
sick.
MGM, you walk right across the path right through, and you get right there. It's pretty nice.
That's a sports mecca right there. The thing is, too, is we drove by the Raider Stadium. I looked at Hannah. I go, tell me there's not room for this where we live. Tell me. I go, it's big. It's an NFL stadium. It's big. I said, but look at it. It's not wide and gaudy, and it doesn't look like it takes up square miles. It just fits perfectly.
Yeah, but we need parking here in San Diego.
I guess.
No public transportation.
That's true.
That's part of the problem.
It's a huge bummer, man.
All right, we will come back. Hour number 3 of Ben and Woods, including spring training. Sammy, we'll check in with Sam Levitt from Arizona. Play Take on Woods. It's been a couple of days. That returns as well. All ahead on San Diego's #1 sports station.
right, we are halfway home on a Monday. Ben and Woods, 97.3. The Fan. Great to be here with you this morning. I'm Woodsy. That's Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. Over to the right is not Paul Ryan. It's Adam Klug filling in for Paulie. I talked to Paulie yesterday. He is feeling like, he sounded like death warmed over. And I just told him, I said, look, you're going to be sick now. If you're going to be sick now, right? Not that you have a choice. But he said, it was funny. He goes, man, I feel like all of us have our times of the year where we get sick. And I go, yeah, you're right. He goes, mine was this time last year. We were on our way to spring training. He goes, I had to take like 4 days off. He goes, I didn't want to be sick for spring training. And I said, yeah, I don't want you sick for opening day and the start of baseball season. So take as much time as you need. Like, we'll be fine.
I got sick in January.
You got sick in January.
I feel like that sometimes happens to me as well.
Yeah.
So.
Knock on wood, I've been all right so far this year. I mean, I just came back from Vegas, so you get panicked, man, and your kids are just like, I can't tell you how many times during the weekend we're like, don't put your hand on that. Don't touch that. Please take that off the floor. Please stop licking the carpet. I'm begging you.
Does Hannah carry around like the wipes, sanitizing
the
wipes,
spray, the whole trip? Just all right, yeah.
Gel,
hit me up,
everything. Right,
yeah.
Well, you told us about your trips, the highs and the lows. Ronnie Jockett's $150 burger, fries, and shakes, and the concerts that you went to.
Yeah.
I think overall you're going to end up with some good memories of that trip.
Of course.
Hopefully your kids remember. Bo's at the age he'll now actually remember.
Oh, yeah.
Taylor's probably still too young. When he's like 30, he'll go, I don't remember you taking us to Vegas to the Eagles and Deftones.
Yeah. Well, he didn't make the Deftones. He slept through that. He and his mother.
So you admitted, though, that the drive wasn't that bad.
It was not.
You always have been a flyer to Vegas, but now that you have the Sprinter, the Ben bus, you guys packed him up in the back and you made the drive, 4.5, 5 hours?
Yeah.
How many, I'm curious, though, because you didn't tell us. So how many stops are required for the Woods clan on that drive? Can you do it with one stop, or did you need multiple stops?
So we got up early on Friday morning, and we hit.
You were on the road while I was doing the show with Sammy and Adam.
Yep, you texted me, and I was already about an hour in, and we made it to Barstow before we stopped.
That's good.
We stopped at Starbucks, got breakfast, got a coffee.
That's solid.
Gassed up. Yeah.
Now, can you make it the rest of the way without stopping again?
Well, so what we did was we were cruising pretty good, and then we got to Prim. And Prim always makes me laugh. It's a weird little spot out in the desert. I only know one person on the planet that has ever actually spent the night in Prim, Nevada, and he's sitting to my left. His name is Ben Higgins. He has actually stayed in Prim before. Blew my mind when I learned this. Vegas is only 30 minutes further. Like, if you kept going, you could have been in Sin City.
It was very cheap. Well, we didn't stay in Prim. We stayed in Prim, but we didn't stay in Prim, if you understand my meaning.
I don't.
So we were going for one night. I was taking two buddies in college. He had just turned 21. We didn't really have any money. So we were trying to find what's the cheapest way to go. And then you drive. So we drove up on a Friday afternoon after class, checked in to Buffalo Bills, I believe.
Oh, wait. Hey, are you guys college students?
The room was like $11. We shared the room, then immediately got back in the car, drove to Vegas, was there. We were there until like 2, 3 in the morning, then drove back, crashed at the hotel room, and then drove back to Los Angeles in college in the morning. So it was just a quick overnight, a few hours in Vegas.
Slept in Prim, though.
Slept in Prim, though. For like $11.
You and
I'm not saying each. I'm saying total.
You and serial killers across if I was running from the law, that's where I would go. Prim. I would live there.
How do you decide between Buffalo Bills and Whiskey Pete's? I've got no idea.
Well, which one has the roller coaster? That's Whiskey Pete's.
That's Whiskey Pete's on the other side.
So we did stop in Prim. I went and got my flavored Zins. As soon as we stopped, I had to go to the restroom. We went ahead and refilled with gas. Got whatever.
You know what always fascinates me about Prim, Nevada, is that you've got almost everything is on the Nevada side.
Yeah.
Because that's where they can do all the gambling and, buy your Zins and, the state lines change, gas, taxes, whatever. But you can't play the lottery in Nevada. So on the California side, there's that lottery store where if you want to go buy like Powerball or Mega Millions tickets, you actually have to drive into California to buy lottery tickets. So they have that store for people from Nevada who want to make the quick journey and get a few, Powerball tickets before they go back home to Las Vegas or Henderson or wherever they live.
Buffalo Bills has the roller coaster.
Oh, is it?
Whiskey
Okay.
Pete's has the Bonnie and Clyde car. It's funny, dude. When you're walking through these casinos, man, you're walking through the casinos and you're like, what has happened to this place? I'm talking about in Vegas, right? Like all the shows that they have, all the weird people that are there. I mean, it's just a weird place. It's just really, really an odd scene. And my kids, I had my kids with me. So I wasn't hanging out by the pool, getting a cabana or whatever, like going out to Hakkasan at night, or going to Dre's till 6 a.m. It was weird to like walk the streets of Vegas at like 7 a.m. Dad, I want to go to the M&M store. I'm like, it's like the dregs, man. It's the full dregs. It's Bubba Gump Shrimp Co. It's just appeals to the dregs, essentially. So, I was there for 2 nights. We did not have one decent meal, like not one decent,
That's on you.
halfway decent.
That's on you.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it on
plenty,
me?
There's plenty of really good food in Las Vegas.
I know there is. That's what I'm saying is like, I guess we planned it, but we also had the kids with us, so we couldn't really go to a nice restaurant.
I know it's difficult, but a little more research, and you could have eaten better.
The people watching spectacular. We were walking through Rio, which is a ghost town. They've eliminated bars and restaurants.
They don't even do the World Series of Poker there anymore.
Do they
I don't
not?
think. No.
It is a ghost town, dude. And there was a guy in a chair like this,
passed out.
It was like 11 a.m. and he was just one dude in one chair. Security had to come up and get him. And yeah, Bo and I were walking back from Deftones pretty late, like 11:30, and you see, like it's kind of nerve wracking, when you got your kids with you. So I told them though at dinner, I said, I hope you guys enjoy Las Vegas. You will never see it again until you're 21. I will never, ever, ever take my children to Las Vegas again. I did it once. It's done. They got to see it. Caitlin wants to know if Taylor see any naked women on the street. The other thing,
they don't have naked women on the street.
They have the cards. So
yeah.
he did pick one up off the ground on Saturday, and it was a blonde woman, very voluptuous, very well put together. And he's laughing. I'm like, give me that card, and threw it in the garbage. But where they get you is this, which I think is shady too. We're walking with the kids down the strip. Taylor flips out. Why? Because there's Mickey Mouse on the strip. He's standing next to a Power Ranger. Oh, and there's Buzz Lightyear. Oh, look, and it's Sonic from Sonic the Hedgehog.
They want tips.
Taylor runs up, and I'm like, no. Like I'm snatching him back because it's going to be $100 to get a picture with Mickey Mouse. So, yeah, it was. It's just
officially unlicensed.
Yeah, correct. 100% unlicensed. There was the new bit there. Maybe it's not new. I just haven't been in a while. Men standing there with giant boa constrictors around their neck.
Oh.
Hey, would you want to take a picture? And they put it around. I said, bro, get me out of here. I got to go. We're done with this. But it was a good time now that I'm home and I can look back at it. In the moment, though, I mean, Hannah and I were about to murder everyone. Like we were fighting. The kids were fighting incessantly. It's the first and last time I ever did it. I will never do it again.
Guzinator says, my son was conceived in the Hooters Hotel.
It was right across from my hotel. They had dollar blackjack and dollar wings.
Such a Vegas thing. Does a chain restaurant really need a hotel as well?
I mean, come on into Bennigan's.
No TGI Fridays hotel as well. Chili's Hotel and Casino. Applebee's, the resort.
Applebee's, the resort is genius. That's so good. But it was, it was fun. Somebody said, Woods, you'll be back with the boys for travel ball tournaments. That's actually true. We will be back for those. And I can't imagine.
You don't have to stay on the strip for those ones.
No, you don't. Yeah. But like trying to wrangle, 15, 13-year-olds is going to be insanity. But yeah, Chili's Hotel would be rad, Nader. I would sign up for that right now. Yeah, Bo was wanting to go over to Hooters and get wings. I mean, it was right across the street where we could have gone. But
well, you have taken them before, so
I have taken them.
They know. And then drive back. How many stops?
So we did. We left a little bit later. Hit the road. We got out to not quite Prim. I can't remember the name of it, but it's
Gene.
What is it?
Gene, Nevada.
No,
Jean.
I don't think it was Gene.
It's the town between Vegas and Prim.
No, it had a prison there. There was a prison that was closed down.
It's near Gene.
So
Nevada.
we hit the gas station, the Starbucks there, and then we hit the road to. We made it all the way to Barstow again. No, we made it all the way to Menifee.
You never stopped in Baker at the big giant thermometer.
No, we did not stop at the thermometer. We went to Menifee. We stopped and had lunch, and then
you're almost home at that.
At that point, but everyone had to go to the bathroom and eat. NY Mike says, "What do you think of Vince Gill?" I'll tell you what, man. Vince Gill has joined the Eagles. All right, I'm gonna get crushed. He was great. Joe Walsh is in the Eagles still. Joe Walsh is an alien. He's like an alien from space. And I love Joe Walsh, one of my favorite Eagles of all time. Joe Walsh is he's a little older up there. When he started to sing Life's Been Good to Me So Far, I looked over and Bo looked at me and started laughing because he can't sing like at all a little bit anymore. He can still shred a little bit because he's Joe Walsh. They let him do it. He went on a long rap. Made no sense whatsoever. They need to let Vince Gill, who shreds, they need to let him play guitar more than Joe Walsh. And I know that's sacrilege to say, but it was good seeing him. Vince is a natural fit for that band and sang really well. But again, the highlight for me was Deacon Fry, Glenn Fry's son. Glenn Fry was my favorite Eagle by far, my favorite voice by far, my favorite personality by far. When he passed away, I was really sad that I never got to see him, but his son filled in beautifully. And it was so, so cool. But that's it.
All right. Well, it sounds like you had a good trip.
It was
then,
good,
for the
man.
most
It
part.
was good. Yeah, I'm glad to be home.
Not perfect, but pretty good.
No.
All right. Now that you're back, we can play Take on Woods. That is coming up next. If you'd like to be our contestant, call in now, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Chance to qualify for, guess what? Our trip to Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
You can recreate Woods' trip, maybe outside of the Ronnie Jockets excursion.
Yeah, don't go
if
Ronnie
you'd like
Jockets.
to win, 833-288-0973. Before we go, though, let's talk about trust and will. You do not want to pass away intestate. That means you did not leave a will or a trust with instructions for your family members on what should happen if you should pass away. But you can simply rectify that by going to trustandwill.com, answering some easy questions online, very simple, and get your estate documents in order.
Yeah, and make sure you research and get that trust, guys. If you don't want your family to end up in probate court, which can be 9 to 18 months to settle, there's a lot of fees involved as well. Make sure you lock in a trust for your family as well. But it's one of those things, you do it, you forget about it, and just know that it's done. They make it so simple to do. Go to trustandwill.com. Again, 10% off plus free shipping of your estate plans by visiting trustandwill.com. using the code San Diego, one word, when you check out trustandwill.com.
up at the bottom of the hour. He's got 2 weeks left on his sentence. Or he's paroled out of Peoria.
God.
It does feel that way when you get to this point. Not just for Sammy. Players, coaches.
The players. Yeah.
They're now ready for it to be done.
Yeah, dude. We're ready for it to be done.
I know.
Too.
They're more ready, I promise you.
Yeah, I bet.
Because they're the ones who are actually out there in Arizona.
Poor Sammy. Oh, 2 weeks left.
Love all the suggestions for chain restaurant hotels.
Yeah, it's great.
I had to laugh. Let's see. Balsamic Vinny said wants to stay in the baby back suite at Chili's Resort and Casino.
Yeah.
Texas Roadhouse Hotel, Brandon says would be fun. Goose says they can leave rolls on the pillow instead of mints.
Ooh, it's a good idea.
Texas Roadhouse Hotel. Who else we've got here? White Castle. You could have gone to White Castle.
So everybody in my family was asking me, what is White Castle? What is White Castle? And I told them, I said, none of you are drunk enough to eat White Castle right now. None of you. Like, you're obviously not kids. And Hannah, you don't really drink. So it's really good if you're 75 beers deep. If you're not, it's not.
White Castle's a genius business model because they've taken the smallest beef patties in the business and made them even smaller
by poking holes in them. Yeah. Yeah, it's very, very interesting.
Extra few million patties a year that way. I'm sure.
I have worked some White Castle in my day.
The onions are good, though.
They are. I mean, it's a good burger
if
you're, 3 sheets to the wind.
J to the J-O. Chick-fil-A Resort, except it's only open Monday
through Saturday. God, I'd love to go play some craps at the Chick-fil-A casino.
Saturday afternoon, everybody check out.
Sunday is the only day I crave sweet tea from Chick-fil-A because I can't have it.
Of course.
It's so good.
All right, we got a contestant on the line. Let's get to it. It is time to take on Woods.
It's time for Take on Woods. Take on
Woods. Woods.
Take on Woods, brought to you by Bay Alarm, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you. And we got Robert today as our contestant. Good morning, Robert. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen.
You sound very cheerful
Doing
today,
well.
Robert. Well, you should be because you've got an opportunity to qualify for our grand prize drawing trip to Las Vegas, 2-night stay, and concert tickets to see Alanis Morissette at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace. $100 gas card as well, 2-night stay at the Flamingo. You can go to Ticketmaster.com to get your own Alanis Morissette tickets. But let's see if you can beat or tie Woods here in our 5-question musical trivia contest. And to give you the advantage, you get to go first and pick our category. Here are your choices, Robert. We've got Playing the Blues, 5 bands with the word blue or blues in their name. We've got This Ends Tonight, 5 song titles ending with the word tonight. And I'm Walking Here. It's an all 2-second song edition with every song title beginning with the word walking. So, Playing the Blues, This Ends Tonight, or I'm Walking Here. Robert, what would you like to play?
We'll do the walking one, I suppose.
Ooh, okay, you're going to challenge Adam because this one, you ready for this, Adam? We got all 2-second songs today, 5 questions. And again, every song title begins with the word walking. You have 60 seconds to identify as many as you can, but to score the point, you not only need to give me the song title, you also need to give me the artist as well. So that makes it a little trickier. Again, you'll go first. Woods will go second. We'll compare your scores, and if you beat or tie him, we'll put you into the drawing for our grand prize. All right, Robert, are you ready to play?
I am ready to play.
Well, no, the order doesn't matter. I'll just say song 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Adam. So let's put 60 seconds on the clock. Listen carefully. Your time begins when Adam plays our first song. Again, the category is I'm Walking Here. Good luck, Robert. Let's take on Woods.
Ooh, Walking on Broken Glass.
Correct. By? Correct. Song number 2. Okay.
I'll come back to that one.
All right, song number 3.
Walking in Memphis by Mark Cohn.
Very good. Song number 4.
Walking on the Sun. And is that Smash Mouth?
That is correct. Song number 5.
Oh, definitely Walking on Sunshine, Katrina and the Waves.
All right, let's go back to song number 2. You got 4 of them.
This one's going to kill me. I know the song, but I can't think of the title.
Time is up. That was a really well-played game, Robert. Hang on the line. You got 4 out of 5. You've got Walking on Broken Glass by Annie Lennox. You got Walking in Memphis by Mark Cohn. Walking on the Sun by Smash Mouth. Walking on Sunshine by Katrina and the Waves. The one you didn't get, Walking in L.A. Nobody Walks in L.A. by Missing Persons. I don't know. This could be tight. I am very curious on this one because Woods doesn't get the category. I do get to tell him, though, that we are all 2-second songs today. Adam did a good job, though. Robert, his score is locked in.
All right.
All right, let's put 60 seconds back on the clock. Woods, your time begins when Adam plays our first song. Good luck. Let's take on Robert.
Walking on Broken Glass, Annie Lennox.
Correct. Song number 2.
Walking in L.A. by Walking in L.A. by I'll come back to it.
All right, song number 3.
Crap. Walking in Memphis by Mark Cohn.
Correct. Song number 4.
Walking on the Sun by Smash.
Correct. Song number 5.
Walking on Sunshine by Katrina and the Waves.
Back to song number 2.
Walking in L.A.
Yeah, by
Walking in L.A. It's not the Motels.
No.
It's son of a
time's running out.
Walking in L.A. Missing Person.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is that right? Yes.
God, he gets it and he beats. How did you come up with that at the last second?
I was unsure, too.
Wow.
Holy cow.
Oh, Robert, that was a heartbreaker for you. He did really well. He missed the same one, could not come up with that. Walking in L.A. by Missing Persons, got all of the other 4. I thought that was going to be a 4-4 tie for sure. You had the letter, though, when you were thinking motels, and you had the M, and it came to you. Wow.
That was like a triple play to end to send your
Clinch
team to the
playoffs.
playoffs.
Yeah, Robert, you try again at some point because you obviously have the skill, but not today as Woods prevails and take on Woods.
Man, that was something.
Woo. All right, that was dramatic to start the week. All right,
if it makes you feel any better, I had confidence. I thought you'd go 5 for 5.
Oh my god!
He thought Robert would win.
Category is I'm walking here.
Yeah, I'm walking here. Brian says no Las Vegas rust. No, there's plenty of rust, man. I'm dying right now.
All right, we'll get some Arizona flavor in the show next. Spring training Sammy. Sam Levitt is going to join us from Padres Spring Training in Peoria. Coming up next with Ben and Woods on Sadie. 10 in the chat studio. Mike Shield better put Tirso on the roster. And I think you should probably ask AJ Preller that question first. We'll ask Sammy Levitt that question, how things are going in the competition for the final roster spots, the last spot in the pitching rotation, and more after a bit of a rainy weekend in Arizona. Sammy Levitt is standing by, and we will get to spring training, Sammy, after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855, get rock.
Also, a reminder, we got our biggest fan coming up at 9 o'clock, just a couple more weeks left for a finalist to qualify for our grand prize night in the Odyssey Suite. You can still register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggest fan. But right now, let's go to the back patio at the Peoria Sports Complex. Another week, just 2 left for Sammy Levitt in Arizona as Sam joins us here on Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. How was your weekend, Sam?
It was great. Got through the rain on Friday and had a couple of nice days at the ballpark on Saturday and Sunday, and some good performances, good things to talk about. So all is well here in Arizona. I did not realize we're 2 weeks away from camp breaking. So we're getting towards the end here.
What do you mean you didn't realize? You don't have like the prisoner
time goes very
on
slow. Time goes very slow here in Peoria. Yes, inches along.
If I were you, I would just try to forget what day it is every day and just go do your job.
Carving it into the wall.
Into the wall.
Airbnb each notch of a day.
2, and then the slash for 5. Yeah. You're not counting down the days, then. You're
No, I'm good. No, I'm good. Having a good time. I enjoy this time of year. I got to get to Ben knows this place. I got to get to Andrioli's, which I think Ben put me on last year, which was an excellent sandwich. So I didn't go there yesterday when we were in Scottsdale, but got to hit all my favorite Phoenix area eateries before I get out.
Really
of here.
good Italian deli, if you're in the Scottsdale area. So
I like this piece that Jeff Sanders wrote about Tirso in the UT this weekend, and he'll be 25 years old tomorrow. He, says, hey, look, I'm still a younger player. I would obviously love to, I'd love to make this team and break camp. Grew up in Tijuana and got friends. And he's like, it would be a really special thing. He's been in this organization for 9 years now. He was 16 years old when he signed, which is insane. And he's playing well, man. And Schilt had some good comments about him. I like his swing. What's your sense, Sammy, on how that's looking for Tirso?
Yeah, look, I think obviously he's done a lot of really good things here at camp. I mean, the way he's carried himself, the way he's played in the Cactus League games, the power he's shown. I couldn't be, I don't want to say happier, but like more impressed with what he's shown in this camp. And I think he's been a good guy to talk to. Like I've been very, very impressed by what he's shown. Now, I think the interesting part of it, and where it may hurt him, is that if you're assuming Jose Iglesias is going to be on this team, if you're assuming Jason Hayward is going to be on this team, if you're assuming Connor Joe is going to be on the opening day roster, I mean, it essentially leaves one bench spot. And I think there is real competition for that final spot, and guys that are out of options, like an Eggy Rosario, or a Gavin Sheets. So it's certainly not impossible that Tirso makes the roster. If he makes it, he will have, in my opinion, earned it by what he's done so far in spring, and also a guy who has been, like you said, Woodsy, part of this organization a long time. You could argue he's earned that opportunity from what he's done in the minor leagues, but I'm intrigued to see what they ultimately do with that final spot. I do wonder with Eggy how much the lack of options will play into it. Gavin Sheets, has had some nice moments, certainly has a ton of power, is proven on the major league level in some capacity. That's the thing with Tirso that I do sometimes go back to. Is number one, we don't know what he is major league level. And number two, look, he has been around a long time. And last year there seemed to be a window where, they could have called him up and they haven't to this point. So, again, it's one of those things where how much do you balance spring training performance and what we feel here with kind of what we know from years past. So, look, we'll see what happens with him, but I think he's done a really nice job here to keep himself on the radar one way or another.
It is unusual that Tirso has spent so much time in the Padres organization without getting to the big leagues. Usually or getting traded. Well, that's the thing. Either you flame out and then you're gone, you're released or you're traded, or you make it to the big leagues at some point in those 9 years. But he's had so many ups and downs. Like he's made progress and then taken a step back, but never to the point where they ever wanted to give up on him. And now he is so close, knocking at the door. I want to ask you this, Sammy, about another name you just brought up, and that's Gavin Sheets, because I would say 3 days ago, I was pretty much like, whatever. Gavin Sheets, it was a flyer. He's here, but I haven't seen much from him. Then he goes and shows off the power. The reason that they did sign him and hits home runs 2 straight days. And now all of a sudden, I feel like now you've got to give him a little more serious consideration as well. What do you know about Gavin Sheets and this opportunity? We didn't get a chance to speak with him when we were there, but what have you learned?
Yeah, look, Gavin, obviously very excited to be a part of the organization. I talked to him pretty early in spring training, and he said at the time, he mentioned that word power, and, that he was somebody who could bring power to the lineup or off the bench or whatever his role may be, and he certainly has a good deal of it. Now, again, it's one of those things where I think during spring training, you do have to mention context in almost a silly way with every little thing, right? His home run on Saturday, impressive beyond the bullpen and right field. It was against the replacement pitcher in that inning, after the Guardian starter threw too many pitches, and then ultimately he came out and then would come back a little bit in the next inning. He was one of those replacement guys that had like a 6 ERA at high A last year. So again, I think a little context, just on the home run, and I hate to do that to like take anything away on a 3-run home run, but he's somebody who certainly can provide power, has a track record of doing that. To me, that was his mindset coming in. He can play outfield. He's done plenty of that. He can play first base, and he can provide some pop. So again, to me, he's one of the prime candidates for arguably that final bench spot. And, we'll see how it shakes out. Again, different options when you consider guys like Tirso compared to somebody like that.
Sammy, too, obviously the nothing's changed, right? We still have the competition in left, the competition behind the dish, which is probably the one that makes me the most nervous. The fifth starter, you're going to be able to use a multitude of guys throughout the season. We saw Randy Vasquez get used a bunch last year. We saw Matt Waldron actually pitch really effectively and keep us kind of in it at times last year, neither of which having a great camp right now. You got to love what you've seen from the first four, though. Pivetta, again, was great. Ben and I talked about this morning. It seems like Kolek and what was the other one you said? Kolek and Kyle Hart may be the guys that they look at to break camp again. What's your sense of that after another not great day from Matty Waldron yesterday?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I feel like there's a lot of Stephen Kolek buzz here. Even when he threw on the backfield the other day in a sim game, he was really good. And again, how much stock do you put in this stuff? He was facing his own teammates, Iglesias, Camposano, DeVries, Salas were the main guys he was facing. So again, how much stock do you put into that? But he's getting quick outs, didn't give up a hit that I saw. And I think I missed maybe one batter. I don't think he gave up a hit in the 3 quote-unquote simulated innings. And I think he threw a little bit under 50 pitches, whatever I tweeted out the other day. I think it was like 48, 49 pitches. He's looked really good, whether it's in the Cactus League, whether it's on the backfields. He's got a wide arsenal of pitches. You guys mentioned earlier the sinker really works for him. And, look, I think, if he does get that 5th and final rotation spot, what a remarkable kind of story for the Padres to keep a Rule 5 guy on their roster last year and transform him into a starting pitcher. I do think there's a lot of Stephen Kolek buzz. We saw Kyle Hart over the weekend, little bit of a weird outing because it started raining right away and he only threw 2 innings. He was supposed to throw 3. But for the most part, he's also been impressive. With Matt Waldron, I don't want to totally, dismiss him really because, look, the one thing you can say about Matt is he's shown us for an extended stretch that he can get guys out at the major league level, which, as a starter, Kolek hasn't done yet and Kyle Hart hasn't done yet. So I don't want to just dismiss Matt Waldron, but I will say, for sure there is Stephen Kolek buzz, I feel like, around here. Also, I think what's interesting about the whole situation with that grouping of 4 to 5 guys, Kolek, Waldron, Hart, Brito, and Vasquez, if you want to take those 5, is that without Hoeing and without Reynolds on the opening day roster, it opens up A, 2 bullpen spots, and B, potentially a long man, somebody who could give you multiple innings. So my question also becomes, okay, let's say Stephen Kolek wins the 5th and final rotation spot. Does a Kyle Hart, does a Randy Vasquez, does whoever, take one of those bullpen spots at least at the start of the year? Or is it going to be like Alec Jacob and Ron Marinaccio and they go without a quote-unquote long man because maybe they can do without it early in the year and they have off days built in early on. So I do think that's something to think about as well, that one of those guys could make the roster not in the rotation, and they're going to have to decide if they do that. All right, who do we want going down starting as pure starting depth? Who would we want as at least a long man in the bullpen until, let's say, a Brian Hoeing or a Sean Reynolds or whomever gets back? But I know that was a long answer based on the grouping of 5th starter candidates. But yeah, no, guys, I'm with you. Kolek's been really impressive. He's got a wide arsenal, and I certainly am feeling the Kolek buzz here. You can just tell sometimes on the backfield what people are, saying and chirping about. And he's been very, very impressive so far. He really has.
Talking to spring training Sammy, Sam Levitt with us from Peoria, Arizona. I was actually going to turn the conversation toward the bullpen. Had a really nice day on Saturday on the win when Jason Adam, Robert Suarez, Adrian Morejon, Yuki Matsui, Wandy Peralta, and Alec Jacob all had scoreless innings in that game in the win.
It's the dream.
And we've talked about Bradley Rodriguez, and even though there's a couple of injuries, seems like there's a lot of good options. The one I wanted to bring up, though, of those 6, and no one's really talked about him other than we thought he was kind of washed last year, is Wandy Peralta one of those guys who might actually bounce back this year and have a decent season again? Because that happens with relievers sometimes.
Yeah, it's a great point, Ben. Early on in spring, Mike Schilt talked about, and you're right, we haven't really talked about him, but Mike talked about the idea that Wandy has come into camp looking really good, and I'm with him. I thought even on the backfields early on, Wandy was getting outs. The stuff looks sharp, and he's been good in the Cactus League games. But Mike talked about last year they didn't really like get him a role early on. Like he was kind of in the middle, maybe in a little bit less of a defined kind of role and transition into a new team, new organization, and it felt like maybe he just never really got rolling. And this is a veteran guy who has a very good track record of success in the major league. So Ben, I think that's a great point you make. I think Wandy has an opportunity, and I think the Padres expect it for him to be a bigger part of this bullpen in 2025 than he was in 2024. And I think they feel like they didn't really like define his role enough early on and maybe do the best job at kind of getting him involved. And then he had some injuries and whatnot. But I'm with you, Ben. That's somebody we don't talk about a lot, who has a really good track record. To your point, relievers can be very volatile, year to year, where, last year Wandy, not his best year, but doesn't necessarily mean much for this year. So it's a really good point. And just to bring up Bradley Rodriguez with all the cuts over the last 3-4 days. Yeah, I mean, hey, there are certain things you don't want to read into during spring, and there are certain things you do. And the fact that Bradley is still in that major league clubhouse does not mean nothing. It does not mean nothing.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he's going to break camp with the team. No, doesn't necessarily mean that. But it doesn't mean he's not. I mean, it is pretty fascinating that they've kept him around, and he's been incredibly impressive so far. So when I talk about there being 2 quote-unquote open bullpen spots, and I mentioned Jacob, I mentioned Marinaccio, I wouldn't be doing my due diligence without mentioning Bradley Rodriguez, because he's still there. And despite a lot of similar guys his age that are on that side of the clubhouse getting cut, meanwhile, he's still there. So we'll see what happens with Bradley.
Sammy, thanks for getting us caught up. Again, 2 weeks left, and we'll have more coverage from Sam Levitt throughout all our shows next couple of weeks. You've done great work, Sammy. Thank you so much.
Work. You saved this radio
guys.
station, Sammy. Just coming in out of the bullpen, whatever's needed. Your boss is in here today. He's beaming with pride.
Well, hey, I'm on from 2 to 6 with Matt Scraby today.
I heard that. That's what I'm saying, man. Go to the pen when needed.
Well, Adam's getting his money's worth.
He sure is. He's wringing it out of you.
You know what I just thought about? And it's so good that I thought about. I know you got to get to break.
No, you have time.
No.
We're good.
I just thought, thank goodness I just said 2 to 6, because in my head this
3 to
entire
7,
morning,
but it's not.
I was thinking I got to be back by 3. I would have went home at 3 had I not just said that right now. All right,
Yep.
it's 2 to 6 here.
Yeah,
So
2 to 6.
got it.
Stays the same.
They do not do the daylight
Exactly.
savings jump.
No,
so
we
they're
do
now
not
on the same
spring
time. So
forward.
like the games are now
No.
at 1 o'clock instead of noon starting.
Correct.
Starting stuff. Thanks,
Correct.
Sammy.
Yes.
Thank you, Sammy.
All right, see you guys.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Good stuff from Sam Levitt. And it's one other part about Wandy Peralta that doesn't get brought up enough, but is an absolute legitimate concern or factor. They're paying him for 3 more years.
Oh, yeah,
so
dude, he's here.
They're really not. It would take, you'd have to completely say he is complete.
He's
toast.
washed.
There's no chance he's ever coming back.
He's not getting minor league left.
Otherwise, Wandy Peralta is going to be part of this
Oh, yeah.
bullpen. It's nice that he's looked good this spring and maybe
Correct.
could have a bounce back season, but it would take just an absolute, like his arm would have to be falling off for the Padres to say goodbye at this point, because he can opt in for 2 more years after this year.
I mean, and speaking of arms falling off, I mean, you look around look at baseball, Ben, in what's happened. So many huge injuries right now. Mets lost their starting catcher for 6 to 8 weeks. Benny, Michael Grove
out for the season. Dodgers, I don't know what they're going to do now.
Well, I tweeted to my Dodger buddy yesterday. He said, "Pray for us." I go, "Yeah, dude, it's tough to lose your number 9 this close to the season. Your number 9 starter is out for the season." Michael Grove.
And we talked about how AJ Preller is now believed to not be inclined to trade either Dylan Cease or Michael King, even if the Yankees came calling and offered a huge package at this point. But that doesn't mean, with a roster crunch coming up, that he might not be willing to trade some of these other guys who have been battling for a 5th starter's job. Matt Waldron, Randy Vasquez,
Kyle
Johnny
Hart,
Brito, Kyle Hart.
I mean,
They could all potentially be guys that other organizations could be interested in here as we get closer to the end of spring.
And you mentioned the need for starting pitching. It's not just Garrett Cole, Grayson Rodriguez with the Orioles on the IL, and George Kirby with the Mariners as well.
My fantasy draft pick. So. That's great.
Mariners have a lot of pitching,
One of
but
my keepers.
not on your team.
Yeah.
So
They're the worst draft of all.
yeah,
time.
I
No one
would
cares,
think,
but he's awful.
AJ's not going to want to lose these guys for nothing. So he may be looking at trade possibilities as we get closer to the final cut downs because he can't keep everybody.
Listen, I don't know how much Randy Vasquez or Matt Waldron
Not
blows
at this
anybody's
point.
hair back right now, but depends on how desperate teams get.
I think you need Stephen Kolek, but I think other teams would be asking, at this point, based on how good he has looked.
Sure.
So you're going to have to sort through some of the offers and some of the interest that other organizations that are even more pitching desperate are going to be looking at here in the next couple of weeks. All right, let's take one timeout here at the top of the hour. It's a quick one at the top of the hour, and then we'll come back. Got our biggest fan. We got some more headlines from Adam with a Klug Report coming up in the last hour as well. Do not go away. Ben and Woods continuing on until 10 on the time change Monday morning on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Final hour, Ben and Woods, Monday morning. Want to congratulate our colleagues down the hall, Woods, John and Tammy, nominated for an ACM this morning.
American
Country Music Award.
Music Award.
Major Market Radio Personality.
Excellent.
Hopefully they will hear their name read when the envelope is opened. We were not nominated for an ACM.
No, nor should we.
No, that would probably be weird.
We didn't even crack Barrett's top 20, so that's cool.
Still, good news for John and Tammy down the hall.
Yeah, congratulations, guys.
You don't seem as genuine in your...
What are you talking about? I'm super excited for them.
I got one of those company-wide emails. I thought I'd share the good news.
Warmest congratulations. Get to go see Jelly Roll perform or something?
Probably. Yeah. I don't know when the award ceremony is or if they actually get invited.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's cool. I remember the days we used to get recognition. It was fun. Those days are long gone.
You don't do the. You don't.
I
do
recognized you guys a week or two ago.
Not you. You're fine getting recognition from you. I want major, I want awards and stuff. At least nominated.
You want a Marconi Award.
Yes, but I think that requires a lot of work from
really?
somebody. Yeah, a lot of you have to do a lot to
politicking.
submit.
You see, you're not willing to do the politicking.
No, I will
necessary
not. I will not politic
to win a major.
No,
award.
absolutely not. I will not do it. Yeah, they'll see Jelly Roll at Stagecoach when they go. That's right. Jelly Roll is playing Stagecoach because why wouldn't he? Jelly Roll is everywhere. Yeah. Jocelyn said, I bet John would happily jump right into midday. He wants to be a 97.3 host so badly. Guy loves some sports talk radio. He really does.
Spends a lot of time over here.
No, congratulations. It's a huge honor. Country music is a juggernaut in this country right now. So to be nominated is quite. I'm jealous. I'll just say it. I'm jealous.
It's possible John Flint could be our biggest fan this morning.
Possible.
Before we do anything else, let's get to today's name. If you hear your name called as our biggest fan, you will have 10 minutes to call us back at 833-288-0973 and
it actually sounds like a country music star.
That's true. This is a very country music-esque name. Today's biggest fan,
Jelly Roll.
No, is Faith Alexander.
Faith Alexander. Her
From
new record
Santee.
is out. Country Girl. Pick it up wherever you buy records. If you still buy records, Faith Alexander from Santee. You're on the clock.
833-288-0973. If you call back and qualify for our grand prize, you'll be eligible for our Night in the Odyssey Suite at a Padres game this season. 20 tickets. Having a great time. Remember, you can still register your name. Last couple of weeks of our biggest fan contest at 973thefan.sd.com/biggest fan. We'll have a winner before the season starts, right? The grand prize drawing right around opening day after the contest closes. So good luck to Faith and everybody else whose name is still in the mix for our biggest fan contest.
Let's overreact to the Padres lineup that just dropped, Ben.
Let's see. They're home, right, against the Reds this afternoon.
Oh, yeah. They want to see some regulars in there. I'm going to pull it up right now.
You see more regulars when they play home
games. I don't
games.
see it. Somebody said it's out, but I don't see it yet.
You don't see it.
I don't see it. Somebody in the chat said it's up and out.
All right. Let's see. I've got no lineup as well either. So
why are they getting information the flagship doesn't have? Where are they seeing it? I'll just wait.
Well,
where would it be? Like Padres.com? MLB. Oh, I don't have it's
MLB,
the MLB app.
I can do that. I can do that. Vamp for a second.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my doll. Rag doll living in a movie. Hot tramp. Daddy's little cutie. Got it?
I am popping it up right now. All right. Yeah, here we go.
She said.
Let's see. Michael King on the mound today against the Cincinnati Reds and Hunter Green. And here's the lineup for Mike Schiltz, San Diego Padres. Luis Ariz leading off, playing first base today. Ariz hitting .333 this spring. Got a couple of more hits over the weekend.
Sounds about right.
Fernando Tatis Jr. will bat second and play.
It's Fernando Tatis Jr.
Right field.
Relax over there.
Jackson Merrill will hit third and play center field.
That's the
Certainly
thing.
Feels like he's going to be your number 3 hitter this season.
That's the thing.
Manny Machado cleaning up and playing third base. Jake Cronenworth will bat fifth and play second base. Xander Bogaerts, your shortstop, hitting sixth. Jason Hayward in left field, batting seventh. Gavin Sheets is your designated hitter, trying to go for 3 straight days with home runs, batting eighth. And Elias Diaz will do the catching and bat ninth. So a very opening day-ish type lineup again for the San Diego Padres today. The question would be, is Gavin Sheets going to make this team? We didn't even bring up Yuli Gurriel. He continues, had another RBI double. He actually has been hitting as well as just about anybody this spring for the Padres, but there are very few spots left on the roster battling for those last bits. And of course, Jason Hayward gets his chance today, but it could be Tirso, could be Connor Joe, could be Eggy Rosario. Those last spots in the first lineup for the Padres remain up for grabs.
Yeah, stacking that lineup today with as many lefties, I think, as you can get in there, minus Tirso Benny, but he's a lefty. Yeah, he swings it from the left side.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Hunter Green can be nasty.
He's nasty. He throws hard.
That'd be a good test.
If I'm Tirso, I'm like, you know what? That's fine. I'll sit this one out.
Michael King is yet to allow a run in his brief Cactus League stint so far this year. Just trying to get tuned up, though. We know he's in the starting rotation, no doubt about that. So
the question is, Mood says, Woods has every streaming subscription known to man and some that aren't known to man. He doesn't have MLB. I have MLB. I just didn't have it up in front of me at the time. So I'm currently not watching a baseball game.
1:10, the first pitch today from the Peoria Sports Complex in Arizona, and we got a webcast, I believe, today. Is that correct, Adam? Padres.tv with Jesse and Bob Scanlon again, possibly?
Is that right?
Yeah,
Yep. Scan's been doing great. We listened yesterday, got us home like the last hour of our trip, put the game on and listened to Jesse and Scan, and always enjoy the broadcast with those guys.
Could be getting some more baseball news today involving the LA Dodgers. Still hasn't been officially announced, but it does appear. Talked a little bit about it on Friday when you were gone. Dave Roberts nearing a contract extension with the LA Dodgers.
Yeah,
it was a bit of touch and go for a while there.
Supposedly, could be the biggest contract in baseball for a manager, which tends to make sense, I guess. I think there's always pushback on Dave Roberts, but I think after winning a World Series, you don't expect to go into the season as a lame duck manager. Probably a deal they wanted to get done in the offseason, at least in Dave's camp, I would imagine. Like probably the day after the World Series ended, okay, we're not doing the lame duck thing. Let's go. But, from the Dodgers' perspective, it's like, okay, we spent $1 gazillion. Ben Higgins could do this right now. So that's that dance that they have to go through. But look, for all the faults that Dave has, and he does have faults, there's no question about it. You don't want to upset that apple cart, not even a little bit. Pay that. You go and stroke a check to Hai-Song Kim, and you're not going to pay Dave Roberts. You go and stroke checks to Michael Conforto. Chris Taylor makes $13 million a year, whatever. Pay that dude his money.
Plus, the Dave Roberts money doesn't count against the luxury tax either.
Like, just stroke him a check and be done with it, and
but
move on.
We talked about it last week. Dave was one bad game against the Padres.
He was
from possibly being fired.
He was.
I mean, that's
as is every friggin' manager out there.
It's a razor's edge short of job.
Manager.
You guys go cold or go hot for a couple of weeks in October, and you're considered, completely differently. The perspective on Dave Roberts changes 180 because he was definitely trending in the wrong direction. Heading into October through 3 games of the NLDS, Dave Roberts' job was probably hanging by a thread.
But at the end of the day,
and now he could be a Dodger for life.
The job got done with a real skeleton crew of arms. He did a good job. He did a good job. But
I know we both hate the fact that he probably gets credit for his Manny Machado hijinks and shenanigans.
It was garbage,
totally garbage, but his team responded, which is what he wanted, and they did respond, and kind of gelled together from that point on, and ended up winning the World Series. So do you give him credit for that, or you hold it against him? I don't know.
So put yourself in his shoes, guys, and you look at it and you go, wait. Craig Counsell is making how much? And okay, Craig Counsell did
$8 million a year.
He did some good things with some subpar talent. He did. There's no question. Dave Roberts has been given every opportunity, but again, you got to manage all of those dudes, all of those egos. Could it blow up on him eventually? Sure. Absolutely it could. Some of the guys are getting a little bit older, but they've got young guys coming up. He's got an interesting job. If he doesn't win 115 games, 120 games, if his team stays healthy, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy if he doesn't win that many games with that much talent amassed.
It is, and there was a piece, and I haven't even finished reading it, but Stephanie Epstein in Sports Illustrated, sportsillustrated.com today, writing about how the fact that Dave Roberts has never truly been beloved in Los Angeles.
No, I still see it. I still see it. Like, from Dodger fans, like, get him out. He's not the right guy. Want somebody that's this, want somebody that's that. Look, the end of the day, I hate to use this term, and I don't like, he is an extension of Andrew Friedman, as are most managers these days. I don't know that there's a manager in baseball, guys, that has the autonomy to do whatever he wants to do when
Mike
he
Schilt
wants
is
to
an
do
extension
it.
of AJ Preller.
Has said it. This is not talking out of school.
No,
he said it a million times. Right? I don't like the word puppet. I don't, because I do think any team, you are one big conglomerate, right? You're a team. You have one goal in mind. What would drive me nuts as a manager is like, hey, I want to go with so-and-so. Nope, we're getting Taylor in because he needs, we're paying him this much money. That's the kind of stuff that would drive me nuts as a manager. I do think Dave has to deal with some of that in LA. I do.
AJ is very collaborative, which is,
as far as we know. Yeah.
I mean, they talk about it a lot in, holistic approach in the organization. AJ has, speaks about how much he relies on his scouts and, his colleagues in terms of everything that he does. And he believes in that from top to bottom. And one thing that never really worked with him and Bob Melvin. Bob Melvin is not nearly as collaborative, I think, as AJ Preller wanted him to be.
I don't think he is. And, I do like Bob. I respect Bob. Bob had the highest marks of any manager I've ever done research on, right? From players that played with him, players that played against him. I mean, you couldn't have scored if you were giving out the Woods report card, Ben. You got 100. It was an A+ across the board. Gets in here, didn't really like how it was going, and I do think towards the end there, it was a kind of, my feet are up on the desk. I'm probably going to be out of a job. I don't really care at this point. I do feel that way. I had heard, I can just share with you what I heard. I did hear this. It's pretty funny. I heard that to land the job, right? And saving him essentially from Oakland and where they were headed. AJ made this call and they pulled that deal off.
And he saw the writing on the wall in Oakland.
Well, yeah, 100%, right? He knew this is not going to end up well for me or my family or anything else. So AJ kind of saves him. I did hear that Bob kind of in the interview process was like, yeah, sure, whatever you want. Absolutely.
As we all
do in an interview process. And then when the day comes to pay the piper of like, all right, so let's collaborate. It was like, beat it, nerd. I got this. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Don't worry about you handle your part. I'll handle the team on the field. And then from my understanding, it was like legitimately, it was day one of like headbanging. And we all saw how it ended. We all saw how that turned out in the end. This one was Schilt.
It's so funny because personality-wise, if you meet Bob Melvin and you meet Mike Schilt, I would think Bob Melvin seems like the guy that's, it's probably really easygoing, going to work with everybody. Mike Schilt's the guy that's going to go, hey, I got to do it my way. I got to do it this way. Yet in reality, it's been the exact opposite.
Yes.
That is, as buttoned up as Schilt seems to want to be with he seems more than happy to collaborate with all AJ's guys and AJ on what, what it's going to look like from a day-to-day basis. And Bob, who always something like, hey, I'm get along, go along kind of guy, was not like that in the manager's office.
It's so freaking true. Manny McNuggets in the chat. Great name. He said, better not be a shot at our captain. He said, Snell said this weekend, actually, Snell was asked about Bob Melvin. He said, Snell said Bob ghosted him the entire offseason. Bob's the ultimate puppet. Giants front office controls his phone.
I mean, we'll find out later what the actual relationship between the Giants front office and now Buster Posey and Bob Melvin is, probably after the fact.
At some point,
but you didn't really know when Bob Melvin was here. That was not something that was publicly talked about a ton. It was the friction between, until the end. Then we found out all about it. But during, you didn't really have any clue that was going. Even when they had the good season in 2022, it was reportedly going on. Now winning covers up a lot of that.
I feel like I did the same thing to Adam in our interview. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever you need. And then I get in here and I'm like, beat it, nerd. I got this.
I'll never forget when Mike McCarthy interviewed for the Dallas Cowboys job with Jerry Jones. He said because he spent a year out of the coaching room. He said he rewatched every single Cowboys game from the year before to be able to put together a game plan for what he'd do differently. And then he got the job. And he goes, actually, I didn't watch a single game.
That's unbelievable. That's absolutely incredible. Incredible. Yeah. I think everybody lies in their interview. It's true. It's kind of the purpose of the interview. Sell yourself.
So you don't want to be, you've got to strategically lie. You don't want something that can quickly be found out against you before you get the job.
Well, it's like Dominic says, Woods says, yeah, sure, no problem. I'll wear a company polo, whatever you want. And then I get in here, I'm like, I'm not wearing a polo. Yeah, it's not happening. I'm not wearing a polo for the roundtable this year, just so you know. But I will be on the roundtable. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm not going to, so quit asking.
So, Mike Schilt didn't want to be a lame duck. Mike Schilt didn't win the World Series, but he didn't want to be a lame duck going into this season either.
No.
They quickly got his contract. First thing that was done in the offseason, right, for the Padres?
Yeah.
Was Mike Schilt's contract extension. Yeah. Within a couple of weeks after they were eliminated, they got that done, and then they moved on to the rest of business. The Dodgers have gone the opposite. They've done all the other business.
Let us sign everybody. Everybody.
And the last thing they're taking care of is their manager, Dave Roberts, here at the very end of spring training.
Yeah, look. He's such a perfect foil for us and me, and it's fun to have him there. He is a perfect foil.
It's interesting though. He still lives in San Diego.
Yep.
I wonder if that bothers any Dodgers fans at all.
I don't imagine it would.
You don't think it would?
No, wouldn't bother me.
Wouldn't want.
I don't care that Schilt lives in North Carolina.
He spends more time in San Diego now than ever.
Yeah,
before.
but it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I know.
I don't care.
But North Carolina isn't the Padres' big rival.
That's true, but I don't care. Just win ball games. Would it bother me if Mike Schilt lived in L.A.? I don't think
a little bit.
I don't think it would be smart because
that's the thing.
It's not smart to do. But they've played here. He's got roots here.
I know. I don't blame him. I'd want to live here too.
100%. They all do. That's why they come down here. That's exactly why.
But I think when you're the manager, there's certain obligation to representing the city where you manage.
Sure, I'm
not saying that Dave doesn't do.
I'm sure he has an apartment there somewhere.
Sure, he does.
I mean, WeHo. Or
yeah, he's not driving. Yeah. He's not driving up for every single game.
All right, we got a break.
All right, we will come back. We still have our Klug report.
Yes,
get some headlines. I have a little basketball. Ben maybe can be brought into the equation as well.
I thought you got your rocks off on Friday when I was out.
A little bit. Yeah,
I heard you did. I got a lot of texts about it. To be honest. Yeah.
You expected that, right?
I did.
Yeah,
I did. I don't mess with you. It's your show. Do what you want.
Yeah, basketball Ben will play.
He comes to play.
First, I want to tell you about SDFatLoss.com. Their spring special continues. The weather supposedly going to be getting better. Maybe not this week, but certainly in the next couple of months, you're going to want to be outside, shorts, bathing suits. It's coming up. How about looking and feeling your best for this summer season coming up? You can do it with the SDFatLoss.com program. Their proprietary strategies can help you lose up to a pound of fat per day and 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 60 days. I should know. I went through the program with my counselor. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days, and I've kept that weight off for more than a year and a half now. You can do it. It's based on real foods, stuff from the grocery store. So I ate a lot of chicken, a little bit of steak, some vegetables, stuck with the program, and I saw the weight coming off. Get on that scale. It is such a motivator to see it melting off you up to a pound per day with no injections, no exercise necessary either. So many tier ones have gone through the program. I hear new stories every couple of days. People who started the program have already gone through the program. Thousands of pounds lost in San Diego, maybe tens of thousands at this point. Be the next success story. Get $200 off right now with the spring special by going and setting up your free consultation at SDFatLoss.com. That's SDFatLoss.com.
Never.
come here.
Don't. If you say the word gout, I'm going to talk about your gout.
My buddy Scott deals with it too.
Does he?
I think we're lucky that we have not had to deal with the gout. Do you say the gout or just gout?
There's just gout. Like I've got gout.
I like the gout.
How's your gout?
It's been really good lately. No real flare-ups. Been on medication.
Really?
Changed up the diet.
What was in your diet that was making you have gout? Because it's funny.
Too much foie gras usually is
that right?
fatty foods.
Yeah,
it's
what
it's an accumulation of uric acid crystals in your joints.
High uric acid levels.
Uric acid.
EURIC.
URIC. As in urine. Uric acid.
You have urine in your joints?
Pretty much, yeah.
Beer is very bad for you. I haven't had any beer in 6 months, maybe. You have to lower your red meat and red wine and stuff like that. But it's not, that stuff isn't as bad as it's led to believe. You can have that stuff.
Sure.
Shellfish, like shrimp and stuff.
Bad. Very bad.
Really?
Yeah.
I love shrimp.
Not supposed to eat game meat either.
All of
deer,
the venison that you're eating
at the Klug household, but I'm just asked the question.
No more wild boar at the Klug house.
I gotta quit eating so much bison.
I don't think it's that kosher anyway, so you're probably okay.
Yeah. So the older you get, when you eat, it's such a bummer too, because if I eat Mexican food of any kind, whether it's carne asada burrito, whether it's tacos, whether it's anything,
what happens to you?
My fingers swell. I start to hurt. I'm in severe pain. I'm like, it's just and it's coming. So you have to brace yourself for it's like drinking, I know if I have 3 beers, I may call out the next day. I mean, that's so bad. My hangovers are so bad now that I just have chosen really not to ingest alcohol anymore. I can't remember the last time a drink hit my lips. And I mean, a beer, anything. I can't remember the last time I've had alcohol. I am going to dinner with an old dear friend of ours and his wife on Friday. And I will have some red wine, but I really need to limit it to 1 glass. Because if I do the cocktail and then 1 glass of red wine, 1 turns into 2.
Yeah, the 1 glass at fantasy camp when we went to the meatball.
Oh,
place.
I did. That's the last time alcohol has hit my lips. I had 1 glass of Chianti or something at dinner, and boy, did I want more. Man, I wanted more, but I had to put the kibosh on it because I knew the next day it would be you and Paul by yourself at fantasy camp as I slept.
I guess I'm the heavy drinker because I had a Manhattan this weekend, and I had a double IPA, and I had an Imperial Stout.
The same day?
Uh-huh.
How are you even on your feet?
Just not a lightweight like others in the room, apparently.
Brandon says 3 beers. Come on, Woodsy. Brandon, I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. The older I get, I drank so much in my 20s and 30s that it just wrecked me. It wrecked me. I cannot, on opening day, I'll have 1 cocktail. Remember the opening day a couple years ago when it rained? I had 3 glasses of Corey Stewart's punch.
Yep.
And the next day I was in there about to vomit into my hand. I just can't do it. I just can't do it like I used to, man. It's like the great Hank Williams Jr. said, the hangovers hurt worse than they used to. They really, really just not worth it to me anymore. But for Kluger with his gout, so was that hard for you to give up beer and stuff? Or is the payoff of not getting gout so much better than the beer?
I think it was more difficult at first. I mean, I like to drink beer, but after, I don't know, a couple weeks, a month, I was like, whatever, I'm good. I mean, I'd still like to have some occasionally, but I haven't.
Is it the kind of beer you were drinking?
No, beer is just
beer.
Beer's beer, and it's alcohol has uric acid, I guess, but beer has something else in it that doubles you up, so you're not supposed to drink it. But I think I'm pretty close to getting to a point where it's all under control, and I've been on the medication long enough. After my next meeting with my doctor, I think I'll be able to begin drinking it again. The question is, will I though? Because I haven't at this point, and I really haven't.
It just sounds so 18th century,
This is so. Edgar says he's not buying. He said Woods drinks like a fish. I don't.
He does not.
I'm telling you,
he does not.
I'm as big of a teetotaler as there is on the planet.
I would not call myself by any means a heavy drinker, but I drink a lot more than Woods does, which I know would shock people.
It's shocking,
but yeah, I'm definitely more of the cocktail IPA set than Woods is.
I just can't do it like I used to. I just can't, and I don't really miss it to be honest. Because
that's what I'm saying.
You're more likely to. I've never been in trouble sober.
I felt like that was the biggest thing when I first kind of got diagnosed. It's I got to get rid of this. But now that I've kind of gotten rid of it. I don't miss it all that much.
Yeah. Hotel Hannah will have some drinks on opening day, which is really what I'm shooting for. That's what I'm shooting for. Get her nice and lubed up.
All right, let's take a time out. We'll come back. We have some more Ken Rosenthal sound about Dylan Cease and trade possibilities, and Adam's got some headlines for our Klug Report to wrap up our Monday edition of Ben and Woods. That's coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE000466.
First, though, 7 Mile Casino, Monday, Saturday, any day of the week is a great time to stop by and play in San Diego's best card room. They've got California-style blackjack, Texas Hold'em poker, Pai Gow, and Baccarat. Those are the 4 games, but it's really the environment that sets 7 Mile Casino apart.
Well, dude, I just got back from Vegas. I was a smoker for many, many years, and I guess I just didn't realize, just how bad it is when you're in Vegas walking around. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. And of course, 7 Mile Casino is a smoke-free environment. It changes everything for me. It's such a good place to go hang out. You can go get a beer there. You can go get a Manhattan. They got a great bar area. They got great food as well. So it's got everything you're looking for. And you walk in and you don't feel like you're in a Vegas casino, and I think that's a win.
And you don't have to drive halfway to Vegas to get there either. Not way out into the East County. What you want to play, spend your time playing, not driving and driving back. You simply get on the 5 freeway, head south toward Chula Vista. You get off. It's right there on the west side of the freeway, playing like instantly. It's 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown. You think, AJ, it's almost crazy to think back in the first couple of years of AJ Preller's general manager tenure with the Padres. Had the Rockstar GM opening, but really then from 2017, 2018, 2019, it was more about clearing out the roster and draft picks and international signings. And it wasn't about winning now for the San Diego Padres. We all knew that it was win later, not now for the team. Now that he's gotten a taste, though, of win now, he does not want to give it up.
Yeah.
He does not want to give that up. And when, they had a crossroads this offseason. Like, it could have been time to retrench a little bit and make some moves and, cut some salary and pick up some prospects for guys who are entering the last year of the contract. A lot of GMs, a lot of organizations,
they would have
gone that route.
Yep. It's a gamble, man. I mean, there's no doubt. It's an absolute gamble what the San Diego Padres are doing this year.
I would have lost a lot of money if you would have told me by March 10th, will the Padres have traded away at least one key member of their organization? I would have said absolutely. Someone is going to go, whether it's Luis Ariz, Michael King, Dylan Cease, someone unexpected, Jay Cronenworth,
Robert Suarez. Yeah,
someone would have been gone by now.
Sure.
Not a single one of them has been traded.
Nope.
And that's the word around baseball. Ken Rosenthal on his Foul Territory podcast was talking about it. That
Fair
AJ
territory.
I think it's foul territory. Friar territory. Either way, Ken says, yeah, the word is out. AJ does not want to deal anybody anymore.
With Cease, it's been my impression from the beginning and the way he has operated all off season that Padres GM AJ Preller wants to keep this team as strong as possible. He doesn't want to trade anybody, and he really hasn't traded anybody for all the talk. Instead, he's added Nick Pivetta and Jason Hayward and some other players as well. Nothing major in terms of salary for this year, even Pivetta, but he is trying to build the strongest team possible. So while, yes, the demand for Cease seemingly could be higher, should be higher given all the injuries, I don't necessarily expect a trade to happen. I will say this. AJ Preller is the one GM who will make trades in March.
Oh, yeah.
He will make trades in April, in May. Every calendar month that you can think of, he will make a trade at that time. He's not afraid to do it. He doesn't care. He's not restricted by the calendar. So from that perspective, sure, it's possible, but I don't see it happening.
Interesting. All right. So
I need money, says Dodger legend Ken Rosenthal.
The message, though, I agree with in this instance. AJ doesn't want to. He doesn't want to retrench. Will it catch up to him someday? Man. Probably. Yeah. There's always a piper that eventually has to be paid.
That dude's avoided the piper like he's avoided the plague.
That
man.
Piper,
crazy.
He's been looking around for AJ, and he's like, "Where is AJ Preller?
He's looking.
He owes me. He needs to pay me, and he can't find AJ to collect." All right, Adam's got some headlines. Klug Report coming up right after our last check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the
And get things started here with our today's edition of the
Klug
Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the
Klug
Report. Right. 2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
Let's start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed. It's the
Klug
Report on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
The Klug Report brought to you by the Craft Taco. Whether you're craving tacos for lunch or a craft beer for happy hour, the Craft Taco is the answer. Now open in Balboa Park and Sorrento Valley. Adam, take it away.
I'm waiting for Woodsy to introduce me.
What do you mean?
Hey,
everybody. It's the Klug Report. Fire away, buddy. You got 20 minutes.
Interesting news in the world of sports. Steph Curry has made a first in the world of sports, guys. He has accepted a job as the assistant general manager for basketball programs at his alma mater, Davidson. He's the first active pro player to take an administrative job with an NCAA team.
Just in name only type bit, like we'll put your name on the door, but you don't actually have to do anything.
I'm guessing he's not going to GM. Is he really going out and recruiting these players and NIL and all that? I don't know.
I'm sure that there's a lot of name recognition value.
Where'd he go?
Doesn't have to do Davidson. Remember his NCAA tournament run with Davidson
dark time for
15 years ago or whenever that was.
Dark period.
That's true. That was before.
Very dark period.
Really clued into the sports scene.
Yeah. Well, baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. Great March story. Made his name, and then no one really thought, but he can't do it on the next level. This little guy is going to shoot his way, just start him in the NBA. No chance.
It's been the Hall of Famer.
It's turned out fairly well for Steph.
Maybe he's looking at life after basketball. I think he can probably do more than that.
He's trying to help out his
alma mater.
Yeah,
you are seeing. It's probably an NIL. It's definitely an NIL move for them to help to garner some attention. Did you ever make your donation to the Aztecs yet? The matching.
They're not my alma mater.
They're not, but that's the team that gives you the most joy in this town.
It's true.
So is that a no?
Well, I just got hit up by my actual alma mater.
Oh, again?
Another donation.
Would you give it last $100?
Yeah. I'm having another one of those drives. See, once they get your name on the list,
you're screwed.
Sucker, he's going to get money.
It's $100.
Is it a young college kid that calls you and asks?
No, it was a very attractive woman that wanted to meet him for coffee,
like a development officer or whatever they call him.
And he went for coffee, and he ended up stroking her a check for $100. $100. So if you gave $100 to the Aztecs, the Mesa Foundation, they'd make it $200.
Well, no one's taking me out for coffee yet.
Oh, that's true. You want to be wooed.
I do like to be wooed.
Yeah.
Totally wooed.
Now, this NIL thing is crazy. It's funny, after the Irish lost in the national championship, Shane Gillis, who's a huge Notre Dame fan, was he called his agent the minute it was over. He goes, let's do a show. I'll get other guys, and I'm giving all the money to Notre Dame, which is you can do that now in college.
Dave Portnoy got involved in a big way with Michigan, right? Got the #1 recruit in the country.
Yeah, get that quarterback.
Perhaps Stephen Woods would like to offer some name recognition as assistant general manager at Texas Tech, Holy Cross,
Loyola University.
Yep.
Tarrant County Junior College. I don't know if they have a basketball program.
I'm sure they do.
I have a lot of college people coming after me for donations every month. A lot of time. And I donated to San Diego State. I haven't done the recent one, which is dumb. The one where they match it. Yeah, I didn't even get that one.
Well, you guys mentioned when we were talking about Steph Curry, you mentioned Woj. We'll do an update on a story I know you guys touched on a while ago, but he auctioned off a bunch of his old ESPN stuff in an attempt to raise money for St. Bonaventure.
Yep, we did that story.
Right.
Did they ever find out how much?
That's the update to the story.
Here we go. All right, hold on. I want to guess. Because we made fun of it.
It was like the phone that broke the big...
Correct. His old ESPN ID badge, his credentials from drafts, his old cell phones that he broke stories on.
He sold his old phone.
I'm going to go...
Multiple phones.
$17,822
for everything, all in. I'll go higher. I'll go 27,000.
Somewhere in the middle, 22,675 raised for St. Bonaventure, with still a couple of opportunities left for more of the experiences with Woj, the video calls with Woj, the dinner with Woj. Those are still up for auction. The highest, most expensive thing he sold, there were 2 items that went for $5,000. His ESPN ID badge, $5,000.
That's insane.
And the iPhone that was used to break the Paul George, Kawhi Leonard to the LA Clippers news, each went for $5,000.
That's crazy.
It's just like every other.
It looks like a phone.
4, whatever that was.
It's just phones that probably don't even work or aren't
No,
connected
that definitely
anymore.
don't work.
Look and see if I've got my key card here for Odyssey. Here we go. It's just a white square.
I'll give you $7 for it because I need a backup because I'm always afraid I'll lose
white
it.
rectangle.
That was the key card Ben used to enter the building
here at Odyssey
the day after Dylan Cease's no-hitter.
That's right. Yeah.
Start the bidding at $15,000.
I'll give you $15 for it.
Really?
Adam Paul in the chat
That's probably
says
smart because if you lose yours, they'll probably charge you more to replace it than $15.
it's true. Adam says they were part of big sports moments is the difference. Okay, but
what do you do with it? You put it on your shelf?
That's what I said. Where does it end? Here's the jacket I was wearing when Manny Machado signed to the Padres. We were part of a big sports moment, certainly.
As much as Woj was a part of those moments.
Yeah, as much as Woj was.
He didn't actually pull off the trade.
No, it's not like he's the GM.
He wasn't traded. He
sent a tweet.
He sent a tweet.
What it is a way for the alumni to. It's cool. Like I'll pay extra for a cool experience. Like that would be fun to like hang with Woj. Not for me, but like for other people. The experience is no problem, but like his old phone and hey, here's the belt I was wearing when Steph Curry broke the record.
But
like,
he is auctioning off a video call. So what do you want a video call with Woj and hey, tell me about the time you got that great scoop.
Okay, and I'm gonna keep fighting Adam Paul in our chat. He says that's what sports collectors do. You guys don't collect sports memorabilia, so you don't get it. I collect music memorabilia. I do, and I just bought something.
But what did you buy?
I'm very excited about it. I hope my wife doesn't get too mad at me. So I collect. I have a lot of music memorabilia, a lot. Like I've got a Joe Walsh signed guitar. I've got Johnny Cash's signature. I got Jim Morrison's signature. Like I have a collection. Something popped up on my Instagram a couple weeks ago.
What state of mind were you in when you saw this?
I was completely normal. It's before I took my Ambien. Scott Weiland, who was the singer for Stone Temple Pilots, passed away many years ago. I was devastated. Still am. His widow, her name is Jamie Weiland, put on her Instagram, she's getting rid of all this stuff. And there's lyrics to one of my favorite songs called Wonderful, handwritten. He wrote, this is the day he wrote it. It's his notes and like the verses. And I bought it. And it's my favorite song. And I bought the lyrics from her, and I'm going to own that forever. And it was
framed. What are you going to do with it?
I'm going to frame it.
It's like on a sheet of paper?
Yeah. It's like he wrote it in his notebook.
Can you tell us how much he dropped?
Nope. But it wasn't that much. It wasn't that much. But I am like, I can't wait to get it and hang it in my home, which, some people are like, that's crazy. But it was like the handwritten, that's the day he wrote the song.
Does it make you happy?
Paper. It makes me so happy.
And it's worth it.
It makes me now. Somebody getting Woj's
iPhone make them happy? I don't know.
Guess
Maybe
so.
It does. They walk by it every day and they look at that phone. And they go, "That was Woj's phone." It makes them happy. Then fine.
He said, "There's no difference in the people that bought the phones." I feel like there is. I feel like there's a difference.
There might not be.
It makes them happy.
Yeah, I guess it makes you happy.
Can't be that bad.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. Very excited about it.
And finally.
That's the song. He wrote it on that piece of paper. Like that song that I love so much. It means so much to me.
What if he had written it on an iPhone, though?
Then I would have had to buy the iPhone.
She said,
it's on his iPhone.
This is the iPhone he used to write the song. It's not still there. It's been wiped.
Yeah, it's been wiped, but trust me.
This is the phone. Would you have bought that iPhone?
No.
See, no.
I want
exactly.
I want
there
the
is
lyrics. There is a difference, yes. I feel like.
But also, like when something historic happens in sports, those items get certificates of authenticity.
Correct.
Right when it happens. Woj is just like 10 years later, is like, trust me.
This is the
one. Who keeps their phones that long if they've been, 3 generations later?
I know.
In a drawer somewhere. All right.
Aggregation, big part of today's media landscape. Yes.
Yeah.
People stealing content on social media, big part of today's social media landscape. Ari Myrov, who goes by at My Sports Update on Twitter, he's got 875,000 followers.
Okay.
So a lot of followers, and it's not out of this world to believe that maybe some big name people follow him. When the Rams signed Davante Adams over the weekend, which you guys spoke about earlier in the show, he tweeted, Rams offense, QB Matthew Stafford, running back Kyron Williams, wide receiver, he meant Puka Nacua, wide receiver Davante Adams, wide receiver Tutu Atwell, tight end Tyler Higbee. Look at the stamp on this screenshot 1 minute ago, and then very soon after that, we have Mr. Adam Schefter tweeting the new look LA Rams offense. Quarterback Matthew Stafford, running back Kyron Williams, wide receiver Puka Nacua, wide receiver Davante Adams, blah, blah, blah.
But he said Pula.
They both had the
same misspell.
So it's just a straight copy and paste.
Not straight. So Ari did tweet out Let's see. His says Rams offense, and Schefter's says
the new look
LA Rams
and
offense.
he put little football emojis
emojis.
too.
But Pula Nakua
on
both of these.
The misspelling is fantastic.
They could have both misspelled it the same way. You know, the
L
K
and the L
K
right next to each other
on the keyboard.
The odds of that.
In the exact same order of the positions and everything. Adam Schefter has 11.4 million Twitter followers and basically got busted stealing this guy's tweet.
What are the rules here on this?
I don't know. I mean, it's not like proprietary information. That is the new look Rams offense. They're listed. Do you have to then type it out in a different order? I mean, if you wanted to, it's the same information. I think this is a
Does this
minor
classify
level
as
infraction.
plagiarism?
No, I don't think so. A little bad look for Shefty, but not
a little bit.
Not to the. I'm not going to say that's unethical.
It's not like he took a story from someone and tried to make it his own. It's just a listing,
a generic comment.
A generic comment.
Like I want to write something similar because that's a good point. Well, I might as well just copy and paste it because
it's somebody else's
write the same
point
thing
that they made.
That's not a point though. It's just a fact.
It's like, okay, and this isn't a shot at Kevin Acee, but Kevin Acee will tweet out the Padres lineup instead of just retweeting the Padres lineup.
And all the insiders do it whenever news breaks.
What is the
Because you're trying to get more engagement for your own account.
That's the point, though.
Give it to the Padres.
But for what?
We don't need more engagement.
Adam and I have this argument all the time about engagement on Twitter. Like, I don't make any money off of it. You don't make any money off of it. We don't make any money off of it. All it is the little dopamine hit that you get. That's the only thing it's for, right?
I mean,
if you
want to build up social media numbers so you can promote the things that are important to your line of work.
Just attack the Dodgers. It's the easiest thing in the world. Yeah. You want engagement, just attack the Dodgers. But like, I don't make any money for it, so there's really no point. And there's no point. I don't think he stole something from this guy. Is what I'm saying.
Not anything of value.
Sure. It wasn't a take.
No.
It was just a list.
Yeah. If there wasn't any value, then why did he do it?
Because it was easier.
It was easier.
It
was lazy.
Lazy.
Adam Schefter is guilty of a little bit of
laziness.
There.
That's it.
Before we go, this segment of Ben and Woods brought to you by Popeyes. Let Popeyes do the fishing while you enjoy their delicious seafood. Come in today for Popeyes Shrimp Tackle Box. You like shrimp. Or their flounder fish sandwich. How do you feel about flounder? In classic or spicy? Get them before they're gone for a limited time at participating U.S. restaurants.
Brandon said, when Fox Sports shared the 97.3 The Fan Twitter video of all the small things during the playoffs, we should have made money on it. We didn't. We don't pay for Twitter. That's how you make money. You got to pay for Twitter. You got to spend money to make money, which we're not going to do. Right?
I don't know if it's a problem anymore.
I don't.
You do it. You don't
steal
do it.
Tweets. Don't steal tweets.
Adam, thank you.
Thanks,
Hopefully,
Kluger.
Paulie gets better. But if not, maybe we'll get another day of Adam tomorrow.
I'd love another day of Kluger tomorrow.
Braden Sopranek's going to be man in the ship when we come back. Best of luck to young Braden as he takes over from 10 to 2. For Adam Klug, for Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Enjoy the rest of your Monday from all of us here at San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.